Jeff is in motion. He is on the road. But thank you guys for joining us for Retro Rewind Season 2, Episode 5. And man, we haven't seen you guys for 2 weeks. Miss Tracey, what have you been up to?
Oh man, I am still hooked on that Conan Exiles. I've also been playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is an amazing game so far. I think Borderlands 2 is my favorite game
Uh-huh.
ever, and the DLC that this new game is based off of is my favorite DLC, so it's just been great.
So is Tiny Tina's an addition or is it
It's
like,
a whole new game.
oh, gotcha.
Yep. It's like D&D style. She's the dungeon master and she's like you're playing this RPG and you have like little characters and oh it's just awesome. It's cute, it's funny, it's
Sounds
clever,
amazing.
it's a good game. So I've just been doing a lot of that, streaming on Twitch, same old, same old.
Right on. Jeff, how about you, sir? Let us know what you're doing while you're on the move.
Oh, Lord help us. As most of you know, I am moving, and so today is one of the days we're loading vans, so I had to drop the load off at my parents', and then I'm back home, and then I'm doing another load, but I am going to disappear for a while. I will be listening while I drive, and then I will be back at the end for This Week in Retro, and another thing to talk to David about, so I'll be back in time for that, I hope.
Oh, awesome. Ray, what have
I'm
you
going to try.
been up to,
If I'm not back, just start without me.
Will
What
do.
have I been up to, man? First of all, I watched an awesome show. Shout out to MM2K. He's in the chat. Saw his show this morning. Shout out to Squid. 5:30 a.m. in California. Now I get up in the morning and I watch his show. Shout out to those guys. Man, let's see. What have I been playing? Breakfast on Stadia. Had a blast. Rock and Wilson, David Wilson, and Certified Doc, all those guys got in. We had an awesome time. Also been playing a little bit of God of War on GFN. And yeah, and then, WWE 2K, they had a new update, so I've been playing a lot of that, but that's what I've been doing, man.
What, if you don't mind, Ray, what wrestlers were added?
What wrestlers were added? Well, on the 26th, they're getting ready to add Cody Rhodes, Umaga, Rousey, Rodney. Oh my God, what's her name? Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be on the 26th. This update they did was just the new ring, the NXT 2.0 ring, and they did some upgrades, some bug fixes and stuff. But the DLC comes out on the 26th or the 28th.
That's fantastic, man.
Thanks, brother.
I've been doing all kinds of stuff, man. I lost my TV in my living room. I was trying to join Ray in Wreckfest last night, and I am too old to lay down and schedule something. Let me tell you, I'll just pass right out. Jeff, who do we have with us today, sir?
Okay, so we've got two awesome people. We're first going to bring in Cloudy Validation.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's up?
V.
How are you doing, Cloudy?
Doing well. Appreciate you guys having me today.
Absolutely, man. We're going to have a great
And our
retro
second-
discussion. Go ahead.
And our second guest is a newcomer to my world. He's been joining a few of my streams. I've been playing with him. David what the hell's his Twitter? Anyway, David Wilson.
David
Wilsonian.
Nice intro.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you
Had a
are.
brain fart on his Twitter handle. Davy Drew Wilson?
Well, Wilson,
Wow.
Dean Wilson.
how are you doing with all this lack of sleep, sir? I just have to bring that up first and foremost.
I don't sleep an awful lot in the first place, but since I've joined this community, that short amount that I've slept has reduced to a negligible amount. I really am just running on fumes at this point. I am, because I'm trying to join into everyone's streams, but everyone's streams at all times of the day.
Oh, yes. We run the gambit on time zones and countries, and we really do.
Giving more and more of yourself to everybody.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff, start the question, sir. I know you got to run here soon, but
I do. So I'm gonna start with Dave, and then you can pass it over to Cloudy. Same question. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and what does retro mean to you, sir?
Well, I am David Wilson. I'm a 21-year-old. Just recently got back into gaming over the past year and a half. found my way into it through Stadia. I'm still only using Stadia, but I'm planning on getting onto a few other platforms soon. Now I've seen everyone using things like GFN and everything like that. Retro. So when I was asked to do this show, I got a little bit panicky because I've not been on many of people's shows yet. And I was like, right, I need to do some notes on this. So I wrote some notes and I looked into what I thought retro would mean. And so retro, it's kind of like vintage, isn't it? But vintage is kind of more talking about an age, whereas retro is more about the style of something. So retro doesn't have to mean something that's old as much as it's just kind of about the vibe of something. So something could be like 8-bit or ironically comedic, and that's still retro to whoever's playing it. As long as it's retro to you, it's more of like a state of mind type thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And a feel. A feel.
And I
can jump into a brand new title sometimes, and just the way they made it or the way it comes off, the feeling, it can give me nostalgic vibes from it. Definitely, right off the bat.
That Outbreak is a brilliant example that everyone's raving about recently, isn't it? Like really nostalgic to the old Resident Evil games.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Ray? I haven't played it. I know you snatched up a code.
Yeah, shout out to MM2K. I think the guy's name is Evan. He was.
Oh, is that indie game?
Yeah,
yeah.
He was posting all these codes. I was able to grab the PS4 code, played it on the PS5, and I thought it was great. Awesome game, like retro, and
it's like an original retro, like original Resident Evil style.
Yeah. I mean, if you like that genre, it's perfect. It gives me this is the games that I grew up on, and so when I play a game like that, man, it really reminds me of those days. And plus, if he can get it in the cloud, that would be awesome, especially get it on Stadia.
Yes,
that would be great. Great.
I know they're making a huge effort to attempt to get it on Stadia, which would be fantastic.
That'd be great. That'd be
buff out that library a little bit. Although my backlog is killing me.
Support your indies, folks. I know a lot of you guys always raving about the AAAs, but guess what? Indie developers got to eat too, and they got families. And look, these guys put their heart, blood, and soul and everything in these games. So support these indie guys, man, because they're really good guys and gamers just like us.
Okay, Cloudy. So, Cloudy V, go ahead and basically answer the same question Wilson did. Let us know a little bit about you and what you think retro is.
I'm Cloudy V, and I've been around the community for a while. You guys knew me before as Monkey Boy, and then you know me as the online as Happy Pipes or whatever the Stadia name. But I guess as far as retro, I mean, I know it's I guess it's like for me, it's like from where you're standing. It's kind of like if you're actually really like the definition of retro. It's like basically like for me, I'm 50 years old. Ray's right behind me, so my definition of retro is definitely arcades. I mean, for me, it's arcades because, even though you had the Atari and stuff like that, those were fun and, cool, but the arcades were just so much better than that. So when I think about retro and the best memories, it was all the early arcade time and all that time. Definitely those games there were so many of them. There were just every couple of weeks, they were just coming out. It was like constantly, something new and something, groundbreaking, I guess is what you would call it, so I guess, like I said, for retro, it's from where you're standing, I guess, and what takes you back, I guess, into that specific point, I guess,
Yeah, and they were so much more popular back in the day too. They really stayed up on getting the new cabinets in. So you're right, man. They definitely had a rotating thing of cabinets, and I really loved arcade, man. I really did, because you couldn't get that experience at home without getting like a Neo Geo or something that cost $1 million.
There's the social aspect of it too, like
exactly, the whole thing, just the hanging out. I mean, like I said, I got some stories I can happy to. I was an arcade addict and a school skipper and
I thought it was just me, Cloudy.
I mean, bad. So I got the arcades were an escape, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
drinking the
It was for me. I'd shut out the whole world. I'd end up getting pulled away from a machine by my ear because I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Fourth grade, I did cut for section Z. It was you shoot this way, then you can turn this way, and you go through all these different levels. So, oh my God, you just brought back memories.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had a system exactly where I could go and head out to after like so many classes, and then go and head to the nurse, and then from there head off to the arcades, and nobody was keeping track of it from that point. And I did it for like I said, it was a problem. I know it was.
Listen, Sierra's got a question for you. What is the oldest game you've ever played since you're only 21 years
You're
old?
just a baby.
Just hit the bar.
Just a baby.
I'm quite young compared to a lot of you in the community. I've realized Stadia is rather a community of dads, isn't it?
Yes.
It's very much a community of dads and casual
What it
gamers.
is, what Stadia did, I think, for a lot of us older gamers is like around the PS2, PS3 era, we all kind of died off a little bit. We didn't, we weren't very competitive. And then Stadia, with a click of a button and as easy as to open a browser, you could jump back into gaming. And I think that really spearheaded the older gamers to get back into gaming just for the ease of use alone.
Yeah, exactly. Cloud gaming in general, like I said, honestly, on live was what kind of was the same thing.
Yeah, on live was. Go ahead, Wilson.
Oldest game, I do not know. See, I got into gaming at a young age because my brother, he's about 15 years older than me or something like that. It's horrible that I can't remember exactly how old he is, but he's about 15 years older than me. And he was always into gaming from a young age. So when I hit about 5 or something, I got an Xbox original off my dad. My brother was always there playing it with me, getting all the games for me to play, showing me how to play things. He was never easy on me, so constantly getting battered around as a kid. But it got me into games. Like he heavily got me into games, and I think by the time I got to about 10 or 11, he started sharing his PC with me. And at the time, he still had an old XP PC, and he was playing all of those old games like Dungeon Keepers and Black and White and things like that. So I don't know what the oldest game is that I've played, because I've played a handful of actually old ones, like the original Diablos, like Black and White, like those types of things, Dungeon Keeper, just to name a few off the top of my head. But I don't know what the oldest one is.
Well, that pretty much puts your retro gaming in the very early 90s. That's probably the earliest games that you probably played then.
Probably, yeah.
But that's fantastic. Cloudy V, what's your favorite arcade machine, since you spend a lot of your times in the arcade?
Boy, I would have to say, the one that overwhelming one and the most favorite one, I would probably have to narrow it down to, there was a tons that I spent so much money and time on, but I would have to say Dragon's Lair.
Ooh.
Because when that came out, man, and then the fact that it was $1 too, that thing, it was just, you spent so much time playing it, and then it sucked all your money out of you. So between the two of those, but it was a great game just because it was different. That one, that one and Mach 3, there was two of them right next to each other, and they were those Laserdisc games, and it was just it was like looking at today's graphics back in 1983, 84, I think is when it was, somewhere around 83 or 84 is when those were out, and it was just insane. Just crazy to see something like that, even though. Yeah, because it was, even though it was kind of click to play, because it was that laser disc technology is what it was. It was cut scenes, and you're just jumping from scene to scene so much as far as Dragon's Lair goes. But it was just, your brain, it tricked your brain. Your brain wasn't thinking that. You're just wow, this compared to Pac-Man is black and white. Compared to color TV.
It definitely tricked you into feeling like you were playing a full motion cartoon. I've told this story before. I won't get too in detail, but there was a guy down at the arcade, and he'd literally walk up to you and go, "Hey, do you like Dragon's Lair? Do you want to see the whole thing? Give me 50 cents or whatever it was." He'd put it in, and he could play through the whole thing. That was my first experience in watching somebody beat something in the arcade.
Right.
But our arcades were great at giving you one or two things in a level that just killed you over and over. Like Double Dragon, there's a part with the adobos or whatever they're called that come out that just Oh, it ate so much of my money.
Oh yeah, because they kept you going. He could suck you in.
They did.
You know one thing we don't really talk about, and that was the cabinet's illustration, the artwork on the side. That's what I was like, oh my god, this got to be the coolest game because it's got the coolest artwork on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's almost like breakfast cereal boxes. You push your kid down the aisle, and I want that one. I want. It's like that, but in the arcade.
And you get home, it's like.
Yeah, the artwork was definitely nice.
Yeah, it was. Seeing a lot of the remade stuff that they put on newer cabinets to look old, you know, the old art, even that looks amazing on a lot of those cabinets.
Yeah, that art style is definitely nice.
Arcades is something I never really got to experience. I don't know if it's more of an American thing or if it was just something before my time.
They were done definitely by the time you were 5 years old, or probably even. When were you born?
There's very few left.
Oh, 2000. Yeah, by then they were scrap pieces. Yep, because by then
my experience of arcades is going to like the seaside towns in Britain, like Seaton, Carew, and we'd go to the penny slot machines where everyone's just dropping in. You put in £1 into the machine, you get 100 pennies back, and you're just trying to win some pennies. That's my idea of arcades. I also, my dad had a pinball machine and a Star Wars 20th anniversary for the New Hope pinball machine.
Very nice.
And I had that up until about 2 years ago when I had to sell his house. Well, my family had to sell his house after he passed away. But yeah, he had this amazing pinball machine. He always had it in his bedroom. I remember spending hours on that when I was a kid, just going in over and over and over again. I could never do well on it, but it was one of my favorite things to do.
You didn't have to stand in line, and you could keep feeding the same quarter in, I'm sure.
Well, we would just open up the box and click a button behind it, and it would just say 1 credit, 2 credit, 3 credit.
See, I lived in the States, but I didn't have a whole lot of arcade like time until I was older and could go like to the ones that are still up like at the mall and stuff, because I live in the middle of nowhere and there was no arcades. I mean, if you wanted to go to an arcade, you had to drive 45 minutes to an hour to get to one. Not just like walking down the street.
Hey, Wilson, I'm
driving down half the country here.
Wilson, you said the Star Wars pinball machine? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah, Star Wars 20th anniversary, A New Hope pinball machine. That was the one.
You should go check out Amazon Luna has Star Wars pinball on there, and it's pretty fun. And there's a bunch of different tables. It might be a little fun throwback.
It's just not the same.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same, but it's still pretty cool. I mean, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, that's you can get that on Android too, I believe. I think I've got a whole bunch of those tables. One's Empire Strikes Back. One's
they're all unlocked on Luna. I just try, because I still have my Luna thing, so that was the last thing I played on there, if I remember.
Nice. Those are actually a lot of fun, and it's really neat. Depending on where you get the ball and the setup you do, you make other things happen and change on the board, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't, like I said, it's not the same as the real feel of a pinball, but it was definitely cool.
Right on. Wilson, did you how did your dad, if I'm hearing that correctly, it was your dad who had the pinball machine, correct? Did he refurbish it? Did he just buy it? How did that transpire?
I don't know. Ever since I remember, it was sat in a little corner in his bedroom, and it never moved my whole life. It was just always kind of sat there, and it's not something I really thought about until a couple of years ago, after he'd passed, about a year after he passed, and I was looking through his house, and I went back on the pinball machine, and I had a few friends with me. We just spent hours on it, ended up wasting an entire night just playing pinball together on this old machine. It wasn't, I don't think it was refurbished, or if it was, it hasn't been in years, because when I last played on it a couple of years ago, it was a little bit broken here and there. Certain things in the board didn't work and whatnot. But I don't know how he acquired it. I really do not have a clue. All I know it was his pride and joy for years and years. He loved that.
Oh, I bet. Well, the reason I asked is because I helped my dad. I mean, I didn't do the refurbishing myself at all. There's like 10,000 little hair wires that have like the run of the football field wrapped up inside of these things. And but what I did do is I found out he had a blueprint of the pinball machine, every cable, every transistor, everything. And it was only like this big on my screen. Well, you had to blow it up and then print it out like a poster. Then you could see everything and in the correct, and it literally was like the length of the pinball machine. So
I
like
would
you
open
can,
it up and shut it and just be like, nope.
yeah. Well, that's my dad got it working and he changed some transistors and stuff. But if he had to replace any of that wiring, I think it would have been done. Because I mean, you got thousands of wires bundled together and it goes all over, man. It's pretty wild inside of a pinball machine.
Yeah,
that's
the
are
whole
pretty
things are
wild in
crazy.
there.
The whole those and all the old arcade machines are nuts on the inside.
He might have done
Absolutely.
it though. My dad was a big tech geek. He had his own computer business actually. Ran his own
Did he?
computer business for 20 years. Yeah.
I bet you he rebuilt that pinball machine.
He
man.
might have. He was very. It was one of his favorite things was building things and taking them apart. That's how he got into it in the first place. I remember me nana always telling us this story when he was a young kid. I have an Uncle Stuart and then there's my dad Dean. And Uncle Stuart was always messing around with programming and things like that. And he now works for Disney doing graphic design and things like that for Disney. My Uncle Stuart and my dad went the way of always destroying things by ripping them apart and seeing what they look like inside. And he ended up making a computer business out of it, doing repairs and things and building gaming rigs for people.
See, my problem was I could tear it apart and go, and never put it back together. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'd be exactly the same.
Nice.
Oh, man. Cloudy V, what are some of your most favorite titles, sir, that you could just jump into at any point? It could be arcade or console.
Oh gosh, well, I don't know. I have to think of man. I mean, the older games I used to love. Like I don't know if you guys remember, like Moon Patrol or like Burger Time or Burger Time, Moon Patrol. Those are the earlier games I remember playing like that. And there was like this game called like it was like Submarines something. I can't remember that. And then I'm trying to think of it. A bunch of other ones. Frogger, Tempest.
Frogger, yeah. River Raid is another one I used to like to play.
Yeah.
Rastan. We used to play this game Rastan all the time. And then I'm trying to think of another one because I think I told you guys one other time we were chatting about it. There was one. What was it called? What's that called? It's a 4-player game starts with the G. What's it called?
I know.
Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Gauntlet.
That was super fun.
That shit.
The first original Gauntlet. So, because like back in I remember you guys talked about a couple other people that were on here before. Aladdin's Castles. I know they were around multiple malls back in the day. That was one of the early arcades.
There's still a couple.
And
some places
they used to have an open house event. It was like on Friday nights, and it was like after the mall closed at like 9 or 10 o'clock, whatever time the mall closed, and then like you paid like $10, and you got in, and it was like a 2-hour event. And the lady just went around and just, clinked all the machines up, and as many credits as you want, you just sit there and play, for 2 hours straight instead of. So yeah, we would you'd be able to roll through like Gauntlet with like 4 of your buddies and we would play that until our wrists were like basically falling off.
Yeah, see, that's the new. It's like when I took my kids to this new arcade place. It's no longer coins; it's a card you swipe. You know?
Dave and Buster's.
And I was
I
was telling my daughter, I was like, man, I remember just putting coins in the machines. What are they doing with these cards?
And looking underneath the machines, hoping that somebody drops some quarters.
Right.
Need one more level. Somebody drop a coin.
I was going to tell you too. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say I've got a very embarrassing story about Dave and Buster's. I'm not going to share, but I'll tell you what. At Dave and I'll tell you.
You can't tease like that. Let's see.
A buddy kept asking me. He'd say, "Hey, William, let's get on a train and go into Chicago and Dave and Buster's." And I kept saying, "Yeah, man, yeah, we'll do that." Finally, he showed up one day and he said, "We're not going to ever do that, are we?" I was like, "All right, today's the day. Let's go." So we get in his car, we drive to the train station, we get on the train, we get into Chicago, and it's underground. So it's like almost like New York subway a little bit. There's like stores underground and all this stuff. And I'm walking and I have to use the restroom. My buddy goes in, he comes out. I go in, and I'm used to like dive bars and stuff where you go to use the latrine and there'll be ice thrown in there, Anyway, I walk in and there's this low-laying pedestal that's all open. So I relieve myself. A guy walks in and goes, "Oh," and turns around and walks out. And I'm like, what the? All right, whatever. I finish. I wash my hands, and I come out. And my buddy goes, "What were you doing?" I said, "I was using the restroom, man." He goes, "That guy came out of here like you were a freak." I said, "Yeah, I don't know." He goes, "Take me in there and show me where you were peeing." I said, "Okay." I show him. He was like, "That is a special sink. You're not supposed to pee in there." I was urinating in the sink in Chicago.
Oh, no.
Somebody walked in and was like, "Oh." And I was like, what, buddy? This is what you do. But no, embarrassingly enough, that was the wrong move.
Okay, I got one. Also at an arcade. It was like an arcade and water park and like all this other stuff and combined. And I went to use the restroom. And when I came out of the stall, I realized there were urinals in the bathroom, and that shouldn't be the case in a ladies' restroom. And yep, dude walks in. He's like, he walked in, took a step back,
He
looked at the sign on the door, looked at me, and I'm like, I'm in the wrong bathroom. He's like, yep.
You should have said, "Hey, how you doing? You see the game last night?"
I was like,
Gave him a high five and an elbow bump.
How you doing? How's it hanging?
I was
You got
mortified.
you got to smoke.
Yeah.
I was like 12.
That would have been better. That would have been better if you would have said it.
Wow.
So hey, I got one. I don't know if, when I originally talked about this with Jeff, I don't know if he told you, but I told him that I had like that's where I started off. I started to tell him a story, and he was like, "Oh, wait, maybe save it for Retro Rewind," because I was kind of like a, I guess you could say when Ray said the thing about the card swiping thing, brought it to mind as well. So it's kind of like what you would say, an arcade hacker, I guess, what you could call it. Back then you would call it an arcade hacker. Today they would call it a felony, and they would throw you in prison. So, basically, like I told you, cutting out, skipping school, 7th, 8th, around 80. I guess it was probably like 84, 5, 6, 7, something like that. Cutting out, skipping school. I kind of had like a little side hustle to what would you call it? To pay for my arcade adventures, which was selling blow pops and cinnamon toothpicks. So I would sell little packs of cinnamon toothpicks and blow pops to all the kids on the bus or in the halls and stuff like that before I would cut out to make some money, and then I would like I said, go to the arcades and stuff like that and hang out, and then but basically that would only last so long. It's only going to get you so far, especially with Dragon's Lair being $1 a pop.
Yeah.
So basically, my early, forward-thinking, little mischievous little mind of mine was being mischievous. And long story short, I'm like, I got to figure out a way to play these games. So I ended up with a Chinese bucket of rice. If you remember those coming from the old stores back in the day, little buckets of half orders of rice. They call it like a half order of rice. And the basket lid had like a little wire that went across the top and went across the top to hold the basket.
Okay.
So I pull that wire off there and figure out that you can take that and bend it in so many ways and go up through the coin return on the arcade machines, and you can plink the coin drop bar on the inside and
tell it it's got money
and insert coins without having coins. So that was kind of the thing that I did for a long time. Certain arcades where I got away with it at, because like there was one right by my house. It was like a movie theater. We had like a massive arcade, but there was no attendant. It was just like, So like, it was like nobody was ever there. So like that's where I spent a lot of time, doing the old plink and shink, I guess.
Well, that's funny. You found that you figured that out, man. We had a payphone in Schoolcraft that you could go up and use for free when you click the coin return. If you clicked it really fast, after like 3, it would think you put a quarter in. So we were making phone calls all summer, long 900 numbers, all kinds of stuff. And they jerked that phone out of there real quick. They were losing money on that one. I'm sure of that.
Oh man.
So do either one of you guys ever go to a roller skating rink? They're probably outlawed where you're at, Wilson.
No.
Yeah,
never.
7th and 8th grade was roller skating ring every single weekend. Break dancing and roller skate ringing and all of that was my thing back in that time. Was like I said, that was probably 84, 85, something like that.
Wow.
Yep.
I could roller skate, but I couldn't do the tricks, man. I've seen people yo-yo backwards, or like yo-yo while they're roller skating.
The same thing. I couldn't roller skate either. I could barely get around on the roller skates. But that's why I hung out with all the break dancers and did all that kind of stuff. I could do all that, but I could not roller. I I was just tired of busting my ass, so I just gave up on it, man. I just was like, it's easier just to hang out and with the break dancers, man.
Yeah, I had to
roller skating
and just goof
break
around,
dancing
really.
just sounds like such a time to grow up through.
Dude,
Yeah.
you'd be
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wilson, I'm telling you, you would have had so much fun in the late 80s, man. You got to explain to us what it was like growing up not that long ago, because for us, we could play with knives and go jump in traffic, and as long as we didn't bug our parents, they were just like, hey, when the lights go out, come in the house.
Yeah,
Like-
or you get locked out
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah, like literally, my mom's looked at me more than once and said, just go with the grace of God, but go, just go.
We rode BMX bikes all day, motorcycles all day, and arcade all day. That's all we did. It was like, I don't know if you guys noticed, as you see my shirt, I wore this
Rad.
Rad racing, baby.
Dude, my Huffy.
You
I
had
think-
the pegs.
I had my Huffy dirt bike was everything, and then my dad got me a Diamondback, and I had the little pegs where my friends would use to, and I had the hand brakes, and you could do all the. Oh my god!
You could do tricks, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. But a lot of people
That's the
could.
best of times. I mean, sometimes these kids today, I just wonder. I'm like, how do these kids don't seem like they play, man? They just don't play like we played, man. It's just not the same type of playing, man.
Well, it's
That's
because we're all
true.
playing games.
Yeah.
The most adventurous thing we do is go on Assassin's Creed Odyssey and explore ancient Greece.
That's our adventure, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Mr. Irwinwell is exactly right. The comic books under your bed. I even have some special books I can't even mention under my bed.
Oh yeah, boy, those were a great collection. Those were great collectible books.
We had a tree house, man, and
Yeah.
tree house. That's where you read the books. You know,
You had to have a clubhouse. You had to.
We had a tree house as well, man.
My brother's friend made me so damn sick. I got in their clubhouse. I wasn't supposed to be in there, and I caught him chewing tobacco. And of course, there was some books I wanted to take a look at. Of course, that's why I wanted in there. But I made it in, and they were chewing tobacco. And my buddy's my brother's friend Ron Brocker. Shout out to you, Ron. He turned to me and he goes, "Hey, you want a little of this?" I said, "No." He goes, no, you're going to take some. So then I couldn't tell, because then I'm in trouble too. But what he did is he gave me a big chunk of it and he put it in my mouth and he goes, "Is it burning?" I said, yeah, it's burning. He goes, "Just swallow it." Dude, I got so sick.
If you just swallow a little bit of the spit, you get sick as a dog.
Yeah, I swallowed a chunk of it. I thought I was dying. But I'll tell you this. This came from I was 8 or 9. It made me so sick. I'll tell you this though. This comes from the same guy, Ron Brocker, my brother Chris, and Ron's brother. Ron's brother was on the beach on the shore. My brother and Ron are out in a rowboat, like 20 foot offshore. His brother takes a shit in his hand and throws it out to the boat, and Ron catches it.
Oh my god!
He asked for a beer, but he took a poop in his hand and threw it at him. So as he catches it, it explodes. It was
my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting times.
Wow.
Okay, I've got
times.
two stories that relate to both of those, and I'm going to share.
Okay, go ahead,
Go,
Miss
Miss Tracey.
I know what you mean by swallowing the chew because we had a friend that chewed all the time, and he would spit it in random containers, and he decided to use my Mountain Dew as his spit jar, and I was not done drinking that Mountain Dew. I wish I was done drinking that Mountain Dew.
That was a mistake you never want to repeat, isn't
and
it?
then watching someone stand up and take a shit. There's a tubing on a river nearby here, and the last time I went tubing, I watched someone stand up, balance on their tube, and take a shit right there in the middle of like 50 people also tubing. Yeah, that was the last time I ever went on that river, by the way.
Say that was a very thick Snickers floating in the water.
Oh my
Yeah, no,
God.
that Snickers fell out of their ass. I saw it.
That is crazy. Raise those kids.
It was an adult.
It was an adult.
It was an adult. It was an adult woman.
Hey, I wanted to ask Ray too. I don't know if I wanted to ask Jeff too. I remember he's not here because he's older too. He's one of the older guys. But if you guys right before the arcade rage, I guess, or whatever it was, or right in that early stage was the Mattel handheld games.
Oh, come on,
basketball and football.
Oh, yeah.
The basketball one, I was in love with that basketball.
Bro.
Like,
Football, hockey,
click,
and Space Invaders. My favorite though was the Space Invaders. I remember being scared. I think this was 80, 81. And I remember I'd just be so scared because the lights was out and it'd be dark, but I could pull out my Space Invader game and it would light up with the aliens coming down, and I could just play that and have a good time. But yes, football, hockey, tennis.
And now, Ray, there was another one too. I'm going to ask you. Didn't you? You said one other time that your dad was like into cars and stuff like that, right? Cars or something.
Yes.
So I got one special for Christmas one year. I think it was Christmas 1983, and it was called Kenner Redline Racing. Oh my God! Did you guys anybody have Kenner Redline Racing?
I did not have Redline Racing. I had Kenner games, but
do you remember that? Do you remember it?
Do you remember that, Ray?
It's. I remember Kenner.
Yeah.
Kenner
I remember
was the brand.
Kenner. Yeah, I remember Kenner brand because I used to have the big. Come on, do you remember the yellow dump truck? The giant yellow Kenner trucks, the construction.
Well, that was Tonka.
Was that Tonka?
Yeah, Tonka. Kenner. I think Kenner was famous for making the Star Wars toys.
Yes. They were. Yes, they were.
That's what they were famous for. But they made this one. You have to look it up. It was like a drag racing game, and like you had like different classes, like pro stock and like all the different classes of drag racing. I forgot what they're all called, but like pro stock, elites, funny car. And it was like all the different classes, but then like you had to shift faster and you had like a clutch and a brake.
Well, speaking of Kenner and Star Wars, Wilson, let me tell you something real quick. You realize that back in the day, you could somebody like when Star Wars first came out, if you bought the early bird special, whatever it was called, you got a freaking cardboard piece that had 9 characters on it, and you had to wait like a year for them to come in the mail. So somebody Christmas morning might open up a toy, and it's not a toy, it's a piece of cardboard that shows you the toys you will get in a year. Believe it or not, that happened. Yeah.
What?
They were collectors. I mean, it was still an amazing thing to get.
It was.
I gave away all my Star Wars toys. So many.
Because, Wilson, you probably take for granted, at least when you were a kid, all the different types of toys that you had access to. All of us, we had to, make stuff up, man. We didn't have a lot of the cool toys.
Dude, my Star Wars, when I lost the lightsabers, I would go in the house and I'd find toothpicks. And I would shove them in there. I would paint them
with nail polish.
Oh, my God, man. Yeah.
Hot Wheels like crazy, man.
I will tell you guys a story. Now, you go to arcades, there used to be fights at the arcades.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
about that quarter placement up there on the rim. And some people be like, I don't care. Some guys will be like, I don't care about that quarter, dude. I'll punch you in the face.
I'm gonna tell you a story. Because California, San Francisco on Broadway, there was an old arcade place. And I remember, may he rest in peace, Adrian, my good friend. We used to play in the arcade over there. We would 20 miles drive over there just to play in here. And then we were this was probably in my early 20s, but I will never forget it was in Chinatown. We went to a place, and there was one guy speaking Chinese to another guy, and I saw the guy grab a pool stick because it was arcades and pool. He took the pool stick, broke it over his knee, and went got into a fighting. They started, and then you saw all these other people running in. I remember me and my friend, we ran underneath a pool table, and you just saw these guys. It was something you thought from a Bruce Lee movie,
Kung Fu Master.
He walked into a Jackie Chan rehearsal.
They were throwing pool balls, and they were using the sticks. Dude, follow my lead. We were on all fours and hands, and we crawled out of the arcade place as bodies and sticks and pool balls and people getting thrown on arcades. It was crazy. That was, oh my God. No, that was 90, about 95, 96, San Francisco. Crazy. Chinatown.
Man, you got some crazy stories from San Francisco. Let me tell you. I've heard some doozies. Hey, I want to get your guys' opinion on something real quick. Something large is happening with Sega. and I just got turned on to this, and I'd like to get your guys' opinion on it. Check this out real quick. I'm going to make this full screen if I can.
Woo-hoo.
Yep, I saw that.
There we go. All right, so we're looking at Sega has greenlit big budget Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio reboots.
I used to love Jet Set Radio, man. That was
Oh, dude,
Crazy Taxi was my thing. On
Yeah,
the
I got-
Dreamcast.
Simpsons
Dreamcast. Oh yeah, I love the Dreamcast.
I got video of both games in just a second, but Bloomberg cite sources which claimed that the two reboots would be the first titles in Sega's Super Game Initiative, which would be releasing games on multi-platforms. A 5-year strategy involving what Executive VP Shuji Yusumi has previously called the development of AAA titles that cross over Sega's comprehensive range of technologies. According to the new report, both games are in the early stages of creation and could yet be canceled, but it's believed that the new Crazy Taxi has already been in development for more than a year, the aim being to potentially release it in 2024 or 2025. Now, man, that makes me feel incredibly old. We're looking at a new Crazy Taxi in 2025 or 24. But what are your guys' thoughts on this, man? I loved Crazy Taxi, and I would love to see not a remake, but a brand new vision of it. What do you guys think? Starting with you, Ray. Why not?
Man, I love that. Was one of my favorite games on the Dreamcast. Was Crazy Taxi. I wasn't into the Jet other game, whatever, but
Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, but Crazy Taxi was. I love that game, and I think it's great because I remember the original game, and to redo it and make it for a younger generation, I think that's just great. Yeah, I like the idea. I like the idea because it's something I would want to play. I hope it has some of the style of the older one, but yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. Go ahead, Wilson. Have you played Jet Set Radio or the other title?
I have heard of neither.
Okay. Well, Jet Set Radio was
Wait a minute, Wilson, did you see one of these, Wilson? You ever see one of these?
I had one of those. I owned one of those for about a year before I had an Xbox original.
Okay.
I played Casper on it and a racing game.
Okay.
What was the racing game? Did you crash into shit? Because then it might have been Crazy Taxi.
You were like these little Hot Wheel cars, and you could pick up bonuses. And I don't remember what it was called, but I remember when my parents split up, and before my mum got the Xbox back for us, me and my brother would sit and play on the PlayStation, and we went back to that old car game because it was just so nostalgic. But yeah, you were like these little like luminous Hot Wheel cars, and you would just drive around tracks, and there was like little bonuses you could pick up, kind of like on Mario way, like you pick up bananas and whatever, that type of thing.
Well, this game, more than the gaming loop or the mechanics of the actual game, the soundtrack was amazing for this title. I loved listening to it. Basically, it's just inline skating mixed with tagging some areas with spray paint cans and stuff. It was a really fun game. Cloudy V, do you remember this title?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, both of them. Exactly. I played both of them. I don't remember. I know Dreamcast. I played Crazy Taxi, but I can't remember where I played Jet Set. But it must have been Dreamcast as well. But yeah, they were both great games. But the Jet Set stood out for some reason. Okay, I love Crazy Taxi, but there was just something about that Jet Set game. It was something just so different. You know what I mean? It was like there was nothing like it. And with the music going and the spray painting and everything, it was just like a, you know, kind of just like a little, I don't know, it was like a happy little bounce around little jiggity game or whatever you want to call it. You know?
Yeah, and it actually got like
the rhythm kept getting higher or something like that. Yeah. I remember like the rhythm would get faster or something like that, or I can't remember, but it was a cool little game, different, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely as deep as you wanted to make it. You could just jump in and have fun, or you could actually try for the objectives and time and all that stuff. It was actually really cool. Miz Tracey, I know you've played Crazy Taxi. What about Jet Set Radio?
Crazy Taxi and Simpsons Road Rage and anything that's like that are the only kind of driving games I can play because I suck at driving and games. I'm terrible at it. So if you're supposed to hit shit, I'm on it.
Very good.
Did you guys remember like what was it? It was a company called Mad Cats. They used to make the steering wheels.
Oh yeah, all the third party stuff.
Oh yeah.
I miss my steering wheel. I'm so mad that I gave it away.
I remember the steering wheels when the Wii came out with the steering wheels for
Yeah.
Mario Kart. That was always
Yes.
fun.
So what additions would you? I mean, Crazy Taxi as a game was very, very simple. You just pick up a person, they want to go to a certain location, you drop them off in the time frame, you get a bonus, you get paid. That's about it. What would you guys like to see added to the game, Miz Tracey?
I
If you
mean,
could think of anything.
we could do more shit to run into, right?
Right?
There could always be more stuff to run into. No, I mean you had to go collect stuff, so you had to run into things already. But
My
gosh,
guess would be open world.
Music.
They'd make it open world. Would be my guess.
Music.
I was gonna say
Multiplayer,
music.
adding in
More rock.
multiplayer. Somehow adding in multiplayer would be making it really nice. neat.
Have some.
It would, especially if they had a Wreckfest mode where you could just crash into each other.
Yeah,
No,
something,
wouldn't that
you know.
be cool if you could add your own music? If they could have you do that, that would
That
be
would be
awesome.
cool. That would be cool.
Make your own radio stations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, what we need is DMCA safe music
Yes.
so we can stream it.
Yes.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
call on that.
Good call. Good call.
I know so many people that are tired of getting those notifications. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that is fantastic. I'm super excited for Sega. They don't make hardware anymore, obviously. But if they can get a 5-year initiative and start dropping new games, that would be fantastic. Because some of my greatest memories are Sega, especially the old commercials.
I mean, look at what is it? Lost Judgment. The graphics. That's a Sega game. It looks freaking amazing. Downtown Japan, Tokyo, looks great.
Oh, hey, I don't know if any of you, so you're talking about Sega, right before, I think it was like around must have been like around 94, something like that, maybe 94, 95, right before the PlayStation came out, right before PlayStation 1 came out. I actually just moved out. I just graduated high school. And anyways, Charter Communications was a cable company. They were big.
Yep.
And they had the Sega Channel. They had a thing called the Sega Channel. It was like the first, like I don't know if I told you about that or not. So I told somebody, but anyways, it was like a big cartridge thing that you plugged into the top of your Sega Genesis, and then like your cable wire, you took it off the back of your little A/B switch. You had like a little A/B switch. I remember, like you took one of those wires off and screwed it onto this little monitor thing, and then all of a sudden this little thing would pop up, and you have like a choice of like 100 games.
Yes.
And you could click through the games and like boop, and then all of a sudden you could play all these Sega games for it was like $8.99 a month. It was like the first, basically, streaming,
on-demand
all-in-one demand service. Yeah, it was kind of crazy, and it was
Never
awesome.
heard of that.
That Sega Genesis had so many stuff that you could attach.
Oh,
the
dude.
32X CD, the Sega
You better have
CD.
5. You better have 5 plugins.
Yeah.
If you have all the attachments, man, because they all plugged on top of each other. They went crazy for a minute there.
Then PS1 launched, and that was it.
That was it. Yep.
That was it for that. Yep.
So Wilson, since you're the youngest gamer here, man, when Ray and I grew up in Cloudy V and Miz Tracey, it was 16-bit or Nintendo versus Sega pretty much. Eventually it got into 8-bit versus 16-bit and all that. But what was your gaming experience? Like, what would you argue with people on the bus about if you did?
Well, it was always PlayStation versus Xbox for me. It was always PlayStation versus Xbox. So it was PS2 versus the Xbox 360, and then PS3 versus the Xbox 360 Slimline, and it was always just people trying to boast about who's got more in a party, and people getting together on COD saying that, we can get more people in a match than you can. Website games, that was another big thing when I was growing up. Fast Games and miniclip.com, friv.com. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Friv.
I've never heard of it.
Never heard
Go ahead,
of
tell us
Friv.
about
That
it.
was my childhood. Everyone in school, school computers, you probably won't have ever experienced this, but school computers, we would always have there'd be like a moderator app for school computers to stop you getting on certain websites like Facebook and game sites and things like that. And there was certain sites, like there was a certain way if you could type in friv and then put .info/whatever, you could get into one of the games and then back out of the game and you can get onto the friv main site. And someone found that out when we were all like 11 years old or something like that, and it lasted for a solid 2 years, and no one let any of the teachers know for a solid 2 years. We were all playing these website games until a handful of teachers found out and reported to the technicians, and then next thing you know, we got back after semester and it was all blocked again and we couldn't play anything. But yeah, no, website games. It's probably the same type of things you played in arcades, but we played it on a computer with a keyboard.
Nice.
That little side scrollers and like ragdoll games and silly beat 'em ups and things like that.
See, when we were in
Fireboy
school,
and Water Girl, if you've ever heard of Fireboy and Water Girl, that was the rage. Everyone loved Fireboy and Water Girl.
Well, when I was a kid, man, and I got access to a computer in school, we could play Snake, Oregon Trail, and that's pretty much it. And Oregon Trail is all a text-based thing.
Oh my god!
You know, you had to buy your supplies and then pick your route, and then you'd have to hunt, and you'd have to like shoot at a deer, and like anyway, almost everybody got the poops and died. They died of dysentery.
We'll think you were born right when the internet came along, and then multiplayer games online. See, I would if I could go back in time, man. Would love
Are we going to comment on
Jeff
right now?
I'm making you full screen, Jeff. Look at that. There is a legitimate roller skate park. It looks like scooters.
Jeff, you better watch out. A parent's going to think you're a predator.
Yeah. You know, Jeff, you have to
get out of there now. You know what happened last time.
You got to be careful visiting the palace, Jeff. That's all I'm saying.
Scooter.
And what's funny is we drove out last night. My son and I, we were passing by here. There was literally a lineup to get into this place.
Right.
So you guys were talking about you guys were crap, I'm gonna crash. You guys were talking about when you guys were talking about it, I was like, oh, I wish I was at home. So I pulled into the parking lot here. So yes, this place legitimately had a lineup to get in on a Friday night. My son's like, this apparently is the hopping place on a Friday night in Mississauga was that. Hey. And so as I passed by on my way home, I had to jump back in just to.
How close is it? How close is it to your new home?
Well, it's far from the new home. It's about 5-minute drive from the current home.
Well, just tell him
home.
If you ever go, Jeff,
Hamilton.
just tell him you have a hot tub.
And this
it's worth
is Hamilton, Canada, right? This is Hamilton.
This is in Mississauga, not in Hamilton, where I'm moving to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but you guys were asking Will about roller skating. So I had to, and I talked about it on the show before. The place is near the house, so I had to show up and show you.
Now,
don't die, Jeff.
Don't crash, Jeff.
Don't crash.
And Jeff, we know when you were a kid, you played with like the ball and jacks and Lincoln logs. What?
So did I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but Legos was big when I was a kid. Were Legos still big when you were a kid, Wilson?
Yeah. I always wanted Legos. I had a little box of them, and I always wanted more. But my parents were always standing on them, and it was the bane of my dad's life. So I was never allowed more Legos.
Man, I think Legos have maimed more people since the '80s than bad weather. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Got to be careful of those. But what I was going to show you is something interesting, man. Cloudy V and Wilson, you guys are familiar with Back to the Future, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's a classic. I don't know, Wilson, you're 21. Maybe you haven't seen them yet, but you've seen Back to the Future.
I've not seen it, but I know a lot of I get a lot of the references just from them existing in pop culture.
Right on.
Watch it.
Yeah, I was say you have homework, sir. You got to watch the Back to the Future. 1.21 gigawatts. Anyway, you got to check it out, man. But here, I thought this was pretty interesting. At least for me, man. I never had the patience to build Legos when I was a kid.
Me neither. Yeah.
But look at that. That's a DeLorean. They got 3 different models. Check that out.
Oh
Don't those look cool, man?
Those are really cool.
Yeah.
We don't need roads.
Yeah. They even got it from Back to the Future 1, 2, and then 3.
Yeah, because it's got the advanced where it goes to 2. It's got the where he added on that that converter thing where you can
Yeah.
add, you can put like
Mr.
vegetables and stuff in there or whatever.
Yeah, Mr. Fusion. They can just throw pop cans in there and stuff. It's amazing, man.
I would have that on my shelf right now.
So
yeah,
Cloudy,
that's really cool.
Cloudy V, when you were a kid and you looked towards the future, man, didn't you think we'd have a Mr. Fusion or we'd have flying cars or something by now?
I did. I really, I mean, something big. All that stuff that you saw in there and especially like you said, when you look at Back to the Future references, the hoverboard and the I think I told you the other day there was one thing that the pizza thing. Remember? I think it was I talked to you about. We're playing PUBG, the pizza thing where you just put the little miniature little disc pizza in, all of a sudden, whoop, and you got a nice, delicious hot pizza. Or whatever.
Yeah, man, that's the technology we really need right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a slow tick. It seems like
it has, man. Just in this is a little conspiracy brained theory here, but I think the reason we don't have flying cars and all that stuff is because we don't have AI to drive it yet. They're not about to give everyone a pilot's license.
I was just about to say AI is like my generation's version of your cars. We've grown up waiting for the AI to roll out and the robots were like, it's round the corner, and it's still we're all sat here thinking it's round the corner, they're gonna do it, but are they? We want to hope that they are, but
long corner.
Let's let them not. I've seen enough AI taking over the world movies.
I'm saying slow it down, man. I like the 80s stuff, man. I'm happy with the old
Mr. Urban World.
I actually agree.
I know the story of Littlefoot, damn it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, and the little special leaf and everything.
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah, that was great.
There's like 10 of those movies.
Yes, there is. There's a whole bunch of them if you get into them.
The first one's the best, though. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I wouldn't mind. I don't have the patience, obviously, to put this together. But if I did, I'd have one of these, man. Maybe two of them.
Yeah. Now more than so when I was a kid. I could maybe do it. But when I was a kid, I couldn't. There was no way. I'm not going to spend my Saturday afternoon when I could be outside doing something mischievous or doing something besides sitting down and doing that. There's no way. Unless it was a cold winter day.
I did not. Hey, Cloudy V, you do remember the models they have the
car? Oh, I did build models. Now I did build models because I don't know why.
Airplanes or cars? What models?
Mostly cars.
I had a Pontiac Trans Am, Smokey and the Bandit model,
all black with a nice gold on the hood, man. That's a slick car.
That was like my pride and joy, and I'd have it sit there. And then for some reason, being a dumb kid, I also had a train set and I wanted to see the train run it over too. So
same thing. I destroyed so many of my toys, dude. I always destroyed so many toys.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man.
Thanks for bringing back. I might want to watch Back to the Future tonight, man. Bring back memories.
That's a good.
I don't
movie.
think the kids have seen it yet. I think it might be
Wilson.
time.
It's really good. It's really good, and it's a family movie too. Nobody walks away from. Well, the first one, there's a little incest play. Yeah, there's a little bit of weirdness there. Yeah, Wilson doesn't understand. Go watch it, Wilson. It doesn't sound as bad as that. I just turned him off to it. He was like, incest.
That's how you convince him to watch it. Tell him it's a little incesty.
It's a story about incest. Now go check it out.
But since we got a young cat on here, I want to bring up Star Wars for a moment. Cloudy V, we just talked about the Star Wars toys and stuff. Did you ever have the big blaster that all your figures went in?
I did. Yeah, exactly. It was like an open little case.
Yeah, it would unfold.
Case. Yep. I think I had one, but I could have swore I had one that was shaped like the Millennium Falcon.
Nah, it's all about Vader's head.
There was a Vader head one. Exactly. There was a Vader head one and a Millennium Falcon one. And,
they're cases for awesome. all your toys. But why I wanted to bring up Star Wars real quick, Wilson, is have you seen the new Star Wars movies?
I've seen the new trilogy. I haven't seen Rogue One or what's the Solo
but you saw
film,
7, 8,
the new
9.
trilogy.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Then you'll be able to. What are your thoughts? Have you seen all of them or just the new ones?
Yeah.
You've
seen all of them. My brother made me watch them at a young age. The originals and then the prequel. Because I was young at the time, I wasn't into it for the story. So from a young age, I hated the originals because compared to the prequel, graphically, it was nothing. And then again, I can say I loved the cinematics of the new show, of the new series. I loved how beautiful it was. Watching them, it was like
colors.
It's what I always wanted. It's what I remember Star Wars being as a kid. Like all these amazing ships that look so real, and these starfighter fights, and all this type of stuff. Amazing, looked so good, but they made it an absolute mess of the story in the latest ones.
I absolutely agree with you, but that's why I brought it up. I just wanted to know your opinion by being closer to the new ones than you are the old ones. I'm closer to the old ones than the new ones, and I got mixed feelings down the board going from the old ones to the prequels and then to the new ones.
70s was magical, man. Like
it was.
It was like if you was back then in the late 70s, the toys, the movies. Then the Empire Strike Backs in the early 80s.
Empire Strike Back was the best. Yep.
Wow, man.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think Empire Strikes.
I think that's around 81 or something. Wasn't it?
Yeah, dude, I had the lunchbox, man, with the cool thermos, the Empire Strikes Back lunchbox.
Yep,
Did it have the tauntaun on it?
Just such a great time for, like I said, just so magical. It seemed like that.
I had the snow scene. I had the snow scene on my lunchbox that had. I forgot what that fighter thing was, but But man.
Yeah, well, also with the Star Wars too. I don't know if you remember the Star Wars arcade game. Actually, too, was the one was like the little green laser dot.
Yeah, it had it was like very wireframey.
Yeah, and you got to the point where you're on the top of the Death Star, and you had to fly in, and then like Luke talk was like, or what's his name? Not Han Solo. What's his name?
Luke Skywalker.
Ben talk to you while you're like flying down.
Yeah.
Use the Force, Luke. Use the
I like
Force.
that. Stay on target.
Yeah, stay on target.
Bringing back guys are bringing back memories, man.
That was a great game. I mean, that game was so cool, man.
It was, man. The most experience I had with the game wasn't actually in the arcade. It was the remake or re-release for the 32X, I think it was. They released that same arcade to the home system.
Right.
Yep. It was amazing.
I remember that. I remember going with my friend to go get it.
32X was definitely not the best attachment for the Sega, but I appreciated all the Star Wars games that it got.
Now we can say that, but back then we was like, oh my god, this is so epic, graphics, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, you asked about what you said the series. I love all the old ones, like you guys, because of my age. Empire is probably my all-time favorite. Empire is definitely my all-time favorite.
Mine
but then I was so pumped when Apple released that trailer, that QuickTime trailer, and they were bringing back, when they were, and it was Emperor Palpatine was talking. I don't know if you remember that trailer. It was like Emperor Palpatine was talking about, something. It was just when they were remaking, the middle ones or whatever they were called, the prequel.
Okay. Yep.
And it was just insane, because like I said, it's been so long, and to have that, and even though they were, a little bit of a letdown after you go back and kind of like really, when I first watched them, I was definitely happy just because I got them, because I got them. Right. And so I was happy about those ones. Now then the second phase, I kind of lost it. I started losing more interest after that. I was just kind of like, my Star Wars excitement was a little bit dropping off at that point. After the first one with Rey, I liked that one, and that was good with the Rey girl when she was young, and that one when they first came in. And then the other two, I didn't even watch them all the way through. I kind of just I fell asleep watching the first time or something, and then didn't go back and watch them. And I kind of just, my Star Wars meter went boop after that.
It's not like the other ones where you could watch them over and over and over and still love them.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I think Empire's my favorite as well, because it seems like the heroes are in like a like they didn't win and they're in deep trouble. Like I always like not Endgame, but the one right before it. I like that one the most.
Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War, because they lose at the end. It seems hopeless.
Oh my god!
Infinity War was my favorite too.
I will have to send a shout out to Princess Leia when she was tied up, chained up next to Jabba the Hutt. When I saw her in that outfit, I'm not even gonna say. I was like,
oh goodness.
Ray was happy.
The Avengers movies, we watched all of them in theaters, and I remember at the end of Infinity War, we're just sitting there like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then we'd wait.
Yes. That was the longest wait.
Oh my god.
That was the Thanos snap one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite one too. That Thanos snap was just so awesome. I actually, when I started playing PUBG Mobile, that was what I named my mobile gamer name was Thanos' Snap.
Nice to hear that.
Yeah,
That's one of my in my top 5 movies. The Avengers,
that movie was awesome with Josh Brolin, or isn't his name Josh
Yeah.
Brolin?
Yeah.
Josh Brolin's awesome. Yeah, I like
By
that.
the way, there's a shout out to Josh Brolin. Not that he's watching this, but if
Oh,
you guys
yes.
haven't watched it,
I've watched
It's-
the series. It's awesome. I've watched all
Yes.
4 of them. It's great.
Outer Range, man,
Outer
on
Range.
Prime Video. It is an amazing show.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. I like it.
Well, I
yeah.
like him. He did good in Deadpool too.
Yes,
as,
he did.
Yeah,
As Cable.
I'm a
Thank
big
you,
Josh
Cable.
Brolin fan. He's awesome.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Awesome.
basically, it's like it's kind of like a Western ranch type movie, but with the Twilight Zone mixed in with it. It's really neat.
we've been enjoying
And that's
that.
not giving nothing away. Trust me. I don't
What's
even
it
know what
called?
the show's about.
What's-
Outer Range.
Yeah,
Outer Range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
awesome. It's good. It's different and it's cool. That's a good one.
I wrote it down.
I agree with Twisted Barber on that
Yeah,
about The Empire Strikes Back.
The cinematography was awesome. It was.
It
Yeah.
sure was. And the new ones got the cinematography and they got the Star Wars coat of paint perfect. The story, on the other hand, I don't think they did so well. I mean, from I do writing for D&D, meaning character arcs and stuff like that. And I'm just amateur, and I couldn't believe.
You're talking about Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that the writers sat down in the room with all the original people coming back and they gave us this. I liked The Force Awakens because it did what it was supposed to do. It got me to like Rey and it got me to like Finn and Poe. I didn't mind it. I did a heavy eye roll when Starkiller Base showed up, but I dug the movie. But leaving the movie from The Last Jedi, I was heartbroken and distraught. I felt like they took one of my most favorite characters from my childhood and threw him in the garbage.
I didn't like Return
I
at
think
the
back to
theater.
The
I
Last
was just
Jedi, and I don't even know what to think it was about. Like, what? It was just such a mess of a film. It had so many plots going on, and it didn't even know what it was trying to tell you. That's what I got from it. It didn't know what it was trying to get across.
The Empire Strikes Back. I'll never forget. I'm your father.
Yes, exactly. That's that whole scene where he falls down and that off that sky thing. He's on that bridge and all that. That was just like insanely awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we got your opinion, Wilson. You're the youngest on the panel. I'm not picking on you, sir.
No, that's
but
fine.
there's another series, man, that goes way back. Is Star Trek. Are you a Trekkie in any shape of the word?
I've always wanted to get into it because I love sci-fi. Sci-fi, it's one of my favorite genres. I love comedy and I love sci-fi. So Star Trek looks absolutely brilliant. I've not watched any of it except for the animated series Lower Decks. It's the only thing it's the only thing I've actually went out there and watched. I've got it on my watch list. I've read about it about half a year ago. I was like, I'm going to get into Star Trek, and I read all the different ways that you can watch it because there's like 4 main ways that the fans tell you to watch it. And I read about it, and I decided what way I was going to do it, and then I got distracted and forgot about it. But it's such a commitment to get into because I want to watch it, and if I start it, I want to watch it all. But there's so much.
And it depends on what era too, because J.J. Abrams kind of rebooted the Star Trek timeline, kind of.
That one he did as well. That was a great one.
Yeah, I did like those. Absolutely, I did.
So where would you guys recommend would be the best place to start as a total beginner?
Ooh, that's a hard one, man, because it depends. You could go back and watch Captain Kirk and go, this is garbage. You could go back and watch Jean-Luc Picard and go, these episodes are lengthy. It just depends. But there's definitely a quality difference jumping from the original to the TNG with Captain Picard.
Right.
Boy, I don't know, man. Cloudy, what would you suggest? Are you a Trekkie in any way?
I am not a big Trekkian. I mean, I never watched. I mean, I watched the older Captain, the older ones with what's his name? Still alive, the guy William Shatner.
Yep.
Yeah, I might watch some of those. Just caught him at coming home late nights and stuff like that. Those would be on TV and stuff. And I remember just watching them and then falling asleep. But I was never big into them. And then when, like I said, when they remade them and the one came out with I think it was J.J. Abrams, and then what's the what's the main actor's name? The guy with the blonde hair, Chris.
Cumberbatch. Or no, Chris, the main guy. I know who you're talking about. The guy who took Kirk's position. Yeah.
Yeah, him, and exactly. I thought those were pretty good, but like I said, I didn't really get big back into it. But I wanted to ask you something before I forget. When you said about Dungeons and Dragons, something popped in my head, and I just about a game in a little era at that time, and I wanted to see if you guys remember. It was kind of similar to Dungeons and Dragons, but it was called Cloak and Dagger. Do you remember Cloak and Dagger?
Are you talking tabletop or video game?
Well, there was the game. There was the video game Cloak and Dagger, and then also the movie Cloak and Dagger. I remember the movie when I was like a kid, like around '82, and it was an awesome, cool little movie. It was like the same little spy thing, and then I just remember the Cloak and Dagger. When you said D&D, then Cloak and Dagger popped in my head because I wasn't into D&D, but I remember for some reason I liked the Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, I remember the movie because the guy was in all leather on the box or whatever.
It was the same guy. It was the same guy that played in the War Games.
Chris Pine. Thank you, Twisted Barber.
Yeah, Chris Pine. Yeah. Right. That was, War Games was the guy that one main actor that played the knew about the computers. He was the same actor that played in that movie as well. Yeah, Cloak and Dagger.
So Wilson, if you're going to get into Star Trek, there's the original, there's TNG, there's Voyager, there's Deep Space Nine, there's what else, man? The Enterprise show with Scott Bakula from Quantum Leap.
Oh my god!
Oh
there's
boy,
another
man,
animated series that came out years ago as well, isn't there?
There's so much Star Trek material.
I forgot. I did have a big crush on Deanna Troi when that series was out. Whatever that was, the New Generation or whatever.
Yeah, TNG. Yeah, she walked around in tights all the time.
I remember that. I was like, oh
you
man,
guys are talking Leia and you're talking her and everything, but because I'm like in between you guys. Right, I'm in my early 30s, and when I was in high school is when the first, like the 1, 2, and 3 Star Wars were coming out. Not the first ones, but the prequels. I had super big crush on Ewan McGregor.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he did a fantastic Obi-Wan.
He did.
Oh, is he just getting more handsome in his old age?
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
He's really good. I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the best part of those movies. Seriously.
So super stoked for the end of this month. Actually, coming up in a few days, we're going to be getting the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. It's going to be so excited.
Really?
Yeah. That was a little 5 month. That was you talking about Gotcha 1985 with the very sexy lady and the young kid. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know why. I'm thinking of the Gotcha video game. I think the paintball game called Gotcha. I think that's what came to my mind.
Zapped. You remember that movie, Zapped? With
I've seen so many movies, man. But I think the
Buckaroo Banzai.
That's a good one. Man, what the hell was that called? Shit. It was very obscure.
Wilson, you still have time to do what me and my friends used to do. We would go space exploring, but it would be the woods, and we would pretend that we were beamed down into the woods and go exploring.
Yep.
We used to play Star Wars.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the whole we'd jump on stumps and hop over the lava and try not to end up like Anakin. The floor is lava. Dear God.
I used to have, or used to, I still have, thankfully. I've got a bunch of nieces and nephews, and they always wanted to play Ninja Turtles, and they'd always, whoop the crap out of me or pretend to.
We also played Lord of the Rings, too. I know my friend was super big into Legolas because she had long blonde hair. So big that she used to take these little, tiny circular things for doing your hair, and she'd put them on her ears to give herself pointed ears.
elf ears.
Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
We were
Wilson,
so cool.
Did you ever watch the Lord of the Rings series?
Yes, I believe I've seen it when I was young. I think I've seen it when I was young. I've seen the Hobbit series.
Oh, it's not the same.
Because that's another one. Because you see, now there's definitely a dividing line. That's why I'm bringing these movies up, because you had the Lord of the Rings trilogy that everybody loved from New Line Cinema. And I suggest if you haven't seen them, go watch the special editions. Yeah, each movie is almost 4 hours, but so worth it. It's
That's
so
a
worth
long
it.
time to watch a movie. At least watch the originals. Like,
Yes.
that's your new homework.
I'm a big binger, so I don't mind putting 12 hours into Lord of the Rings. That sounds like something I can do.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be well worth it, man, if you can watch the special editions. But The Hobbit was great too, but very different movies. What did you think
I've
of The
got a
Hobbit?
very vague recollection of Lord of the Rings, like a really, really vague one. There's like a couple
Yeah, you
of
guys
scenes.
understand?
I
He
remember
was born.
I know.
He was born in. What did you say? He was born.
2000.
2000.
2000.
Holy, yeah, like
I'm an old man.
he was born in 2000.
He's the age of my kids, man.
My daughter is
my
21.
daughter was actually, I got one older than you, one younger than you.
I got a 21 and a 13-year-old, and I feel old every time we bring one of these young guys on here.
I know, man.
I think it's especially bad because you hit that 2000 number. Like if you were 1999, you would still seem a little bit older than that 2000, and I'm like, oh,
man, that was just yesterday, man.
Well, the last guy we had, I was born in 1995. Shout out the Polar Bear. He was born in 90. He was born in 90. Yeah, certified doc. He was born in 95. And then we bring you on here. I was born in 2000. I was like, whoa, you're millennium.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a youngster.
Now, I seen something. I seen something that I wanted to share with you guys. This is something that I'm probably going to buy if it's not too expensive.
Let's see.
I like this, man. Pow!
Oh, I saw that.
Oh man.
Legend of Zelda themed game and watch is a love letter to Link's 8-bit origins. So not only do you have like an alarm clock that you'd have on like the side of your bed, but I believe you pop that out and it's like a Game Boy. You can take that NES game with you.
It's got more than one game on it too, if I remember correctly.
I believe so, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, wow, looks like the shape of a regular Nintendo game. On the clock, you'll see the original Legend of Zelda, and the CPU-controlled Link essentially battles his way through the game over the course for the next 12 hours, defeating Ganon and rescuing Zelda at 11:59. Oh, wow! So you literally can watch, like, the game play itself on the clock.
That's so cool.
I would definitely be into buying that, man.
Oh yeah, you can see half the Zelda shit in my house. My Triforce necklace. I got a Triforce right here. If you angle this up, you can see my Hyrulean shield. I'm a little obsessed with Zelda, so I will definitely be interested in the price of that.
That is an awesome collection. I love that Nuka-Cola cap up their clock too.
I know, that turned out so well.
I love that.
And my hubby made that.
Did he really?
Yeah. He cut it. He cut it, bent it, he laser etched it at his job, and then he spray painted. There's like a plate in the background. He spray painted that white, and then he put the clock face in between, and then put that spray painted the red one.
I'd be making a bunch of those and selling it because I know a lot of people.
We gave them out for Fallout for Hope for the charity for St. Jude.
Nice.
And they were actually, it ended up costing like $200 to mail them all because they're all so heavy.
Cool Breeze put the price up. It was released on November 12th, I guess, of last year.
Oh, it's already out. Okay,
that's not bad.
And it's $42.50 on Amazon. I'm gonna grab one, man. I love Zelda anyway. I can play it on my computer, but I love Zelda.
Something about the NES Zelda game will always have. I mean, it had that battery all. It saved your game.
You had to have the battery. Look at this mess.
Oh,
Game Gear Micro. Look at how small.
How do you play that?
You can't.
Look at that.
Yeah, I saw those are pretty expensive for how small they are.
Yeah, man. My eyes, man. I don't know. I'm too old. I don't know. It's really small, man. That screen looks very bright, but
But now with emulators, and you can put an emulator right on your phone, and you can
be playing it like this.
Yeah, you'd literally be.
That's what I was just doing that
like that.
Yeah.
There's a Mario one right on. Yeah, it'd be cool to have one, but I don't think I could play it like to actually play it. Now here's something you were bringing up. We brought up the arcade. I wanted to check this out. Now you would definitely be yelling at somebody to scooch over. You had one of these.
That's too small too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
My hands aren't great. I don't think I could use that little tiny joystick like that.
I think the screen is way too small for me, man.
Yeah.
In-
They're super
interesting
cool. They're
idea.
super cool and neat, but as far as in game enjoyment, it's very limited.
See, that's the thing. I think they should just make it something like that, but you put it on a shelf, not
Right.
play the game.
Yeah, it's decoration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
decoration. Because I
That's
would.
what they are.
That was really cool. And then here we're gonna bring up the that which shall not be named, Cutie Patootie.
No!
Bring it up!
Oh,
Bring it up! Bring
No.
it up!
No, you got it now. You can't just.
Oh, I can't
tease
tease.
him with
Come
Oh
on.
God!
Yeah,
You
we
guys
don't
won't
tease.
believe this.
We don't tease.
I don't want to see. Oh,
Sell
God.
your farts in a jar, folks.
We've seen enough already, but Cutie Patooties. I don't know how this. I did not think this was real, ladies and gentlemen.
But it is.
Yeah, but it apparently is. Somebody is making money. Have you ever wondered what your favorite streamer smells like? Now's your chance to find out.
She literally. Nice. Thanks for the sound effects, Ray. She literally
Yeah.
farts in jars and sells it.
Yeah.
How is
Here's
this
the
a thing?
picture that
They
explains
say
it
there's
all.
one born every minute, right?
Made in the USA. Believe that the best farts are those that are naturally occurring. See, this is what makes me think that it was a joke. But look,
No, this is real.
Yeah,
She
is this
autographs
real?
The jar.
I gotta know. Is she harmed at all during the process? That's the question people ask.
Well, if she's forced into PF Chang's, I think she's got a lawsuit. But
She's gotta eat way too much broccoli.
yeah, no doubt.
Apparently.
She
So-
also sells her bathwater too, folks.
So the facts. Is this real? Cutie Patooties is proud to offer genuine scented air. How could you market it that as genuine scented air? I don't
Oh
know.
my God.
I don't
Well,
know. That is incredible.
Hey, I'm eating broccoli, carrots. God. Oh,
I guess to each his own.
there's idiots buying these jars, folks. It's like,
Man.
oh. Ooh.
No, you're thinking bathwater. Yeah, she did. Okay, so what the gimmick was is that she'd put her scent in the jar, and she'd also give you some hot tub water from her hot tub stream. I could get
Okay.
the hot tub water because that's easy to like manufacture. I guess she just
How
got to
much
jump
is
in
she
the
selling
water.
these for?
That I don't know. I was not in the market.
Because if they're like, okay, I guess there's not really any price that makes sense.
I'm
so
not
I guess
gonna
it
knock
doesn't
her hustle.
matter.
You want to buy my fart? Go
Look
right
at that.
ahead.
Mr. Bayram says one trip to Taco Bell equals 100 jars.
Nice.
How can you go wrong? Nacho Bell Grandes are so cheap.
Hey,
It
can
said
you
she wasn't
imagine-
harmed though, so I don't know. I guess probably no Taco Bell.
Can you
Right.
imagine her at Christmas time showing up at your house? Hey guys, here you get one, and you get one, and you get one. Here you guys go.
Yeah, for
Giving them out to the
Christmas.
family.
It'd be a great present to get as like a white elephant gift.
Say, hey, Aunt Janet, here's a jar. Merry Christmas.
And so, just so you know, she marks. This is I've seen the video. Jar 1020, and she autographs it.
Wow.
He knows because he has 4 of
No,
them.
no, 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 no.
Ray knows.
I am a
God,
happy
I'm worse
married
than
man.
jar.
What would I want?
How did we go from retro
some
games to
other
this?
woman's
To farts
fart.
in a jar.
I could just like push
Now
my
here's-
wife next to her in bed and hear it.
Now, here's something creepy that Jeff shared with me. Well, I think he shared the Cutie Patootie thing too, but it's not that
Actually,
bad.
that was me.
Oh, he does have jars. I'm telling you, he does.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. September 9th, there was a naked retro gaming in Cambridge. It says, join us at the Center for Computing History in Cambridge for an evening of naked retro gaming. We will have access to all the hands-on gaming consoles and
God.
computers the museum has on display. That was a little cheeky, I think.
Yes.
Party-style music and lighting will be provided. Well, I hope so. They better have the
You know,
lights
there's gonna be a
down.
bunch of old geezers
Yeah,
showing
that's
up,
the thing. Have
man.
you ever seen God, was it called Euro Trip, where they go to the nudist beach and it's all dudes, and then there's one chick and they're like Chica, and they're all running after her with their wings hanging out. That's what's gonna happen at this event.
I think you're totally right. It's projected on the big screen will be Mario Kart set in the 80s classroom.
Mario.
Naked Mario Kart.
I don't know if this is a get together or what, but very interesting. We'll have to ask Jeff if he comes back on, if he made it to that wonderful showing.
How far of a drive is
Where
that
is
for you,
that?
Wilson?
I don't to Cambridge. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask him.
It's too far. It's not worth considering. It's not worth it.
Not
It's like a whole 2 hours
Think
away.
about
3
it.
hours
Wow.
away.
Wrong
So you're gonna have probably people in there like 40, 50, 60.
50, 60.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
it's a beautiful sight. Oh man, that's crazy. Hey, going back a little with the PlayStations. I know you guys are all PlayStation guys. Did you guys any of you guys camp out for like the PlayStation 2? Because I camped out for the PlayStation 2 literally overnight on the sidewalk with a bunch of guys. Awesome experience, best experience ever, camping out. And then here's what the best thing about it is, back then we had a football team in St. Louis called the Rams before you stole them from us, Ray. And
I'm a Niner fan.
Oh, okay. So anyways, I wasn't a big football fan, but when we were camping out for the PS2, I remember Isaac Bruce, and he had some friend named Dre something. He was like he was a defender, some kind of defender guy. He was a friend of Isaac Bruce. Mm-hmm. They came by and tried to like bribe us for our PS2s, and nobody was budging. It was like, nope. And I mean, they weren't offering ridiculous money, millions of dollars, but they were throwing out some numbers, and people were like, nope, sorry, buddy, sorry, guys, we're not interested, But the whole camping out thing was just awesome.
So my roommate, he stood 3 days in the line for the PS3. Yes, 3 days. Did you hear that, folks?
3 days.
So what I did, he's like, Ray, what? I need you to just stand in line. I gotta go to the bathroom, please. And so I came down there and I said, I'm gonna take your place, and he took off and come back. And but yes, he camped out for 3 days for the PS3, and I think it was Target in San Leandro, California.
People camped out for the new Star Wars movies too for about 2 weeks. Some of them waiting to get into the new Star Wars. I waited in line for the PS2, and I got it that night. It was like one of, I think, 20 that. Myers is much like Walmart. So when I say Myers, just think of Walmart pretty much. But I stood in line for the PS2. I snatched it up. I loved it, but the puppy I had at the time got really sick with parvo. So I immediately returned it to go get some treatment. So
I met Major Nelson, the Xbox dude. We were waiting for Madden, and he was giving out the Xbox magazine. You remember those big old Xbox magazines?
Oh, yeah.
And he was passing them out. I was like, dude, that's Major Nelson. And that was pretty cool. But I keep telling this story, but my Xbox 360, I went to a 3-day launch event and slept on a beanbag. And that was amazing, playing all the and back then, guys, it was, oh my god, look at this game in 480p. This game is in 720p. Oh my god.
See, I was like Sierra. The only thing I waited in line for was the wheat. We did an overnight wait, and there was only 8 of them at the store, and we were 8th in line, and everybody behind us was so pissed.
I bet. I'm surprised Ray didn't get slapped for going, hey, you can step out of line, go to the bathroom, and then he comes back and Ray leaves. I'm surprised.
I looked like a thug back then when I was young. Ain't nobody
wants to fuck with you.
Ain't nobody was fucking with me, man. I was like, and he was a skinny Italian dude, man, my roommate, Adrian Scatina, and he had diabetes, so he had to go to the bathroom all the time. And so I worked at a jewelry store inside the mall. He's like, dude, oh man, second day, how's it going? I gotta pee, man. When you going on your lunch break, man? Can you just come down? And so I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right, man. I would come out of my job, go and stand in line so you could go run to the bathroom and everything, man, for the PS3. Wow.
Good thing you love the
video. Those were awesome. That was great before online. I mean, the online experience and pre-ordering just took all that away. I mean, now it's just like, I thought that was a great experience doing that too.
And the big magazines, the big gaming magazines, I don't think they're ever coming back. The
I
way,
know.
you know,
It's the
online
night of
was
those
all-
demos, dude. I remember
My favorite was the ones that were imported from the UK because they were bigger magazines. The CDs had all kinds of demo games on it.
they had glossier pages.
and they were glossy pages.
Yep.
Yes, PlayStation.
Yeah,
PlayStation UK or something. Yeah. Oh my God. And
Hey,
Xbox. Just get
here's-
Xbox.
Here's a blast from the past. I didn't realize, like we talked very minuscule amount last episode about A Link to the Past, the Zelda game. Did you know there's a glitch where you can speed run this game? You can beat it in like 8 minutes.
8 minutes? What are you talking
8
about?
minutes, bro. Check this out. Watch this. This is from the start of the game. Of course, we're going to talk over it and everything, but as it's playing here, he's going to create a new thing, and he does glitch it a little bit. It's not exactly a real speed run. It's more like a hack, kind of.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I
like a
don't
shortcut.
feel like it's a speed run if they cheat.
Yes, it's a
Right.
cheat. It absolutely is. And
Dude, I
yeah,
agree with Miss
It's like a
Tracey.
shortcut. It's almost like a shortcut in a way. He like cut. I mean,
yes, yeah. Here, I'll speed it up just a little bit to where you can see how he does it.
Woo!
This is the
Zelda
very
on crack.
this is the very beginning of the game. He's got to like pause it in midair and do a save. Watch, I'll show you, or he'll show you. It's very interesting. I didn't know this stuff even existed. I had to beat this game the hard way.
Woo.
Yeah, I've
And
never
demo-
played a Zelda game in my entire life.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
you're missing out.
Wilson.
Check out the original, man. You'll fall in love with it. It's a classic.
Ocarina
Oh.
of Time, man.
Oh,
Ocarina of
man.
Time is really
Oh.
good. And yeah, that's why I love those magazines, Mr. Bayram. All those demo discs, man, had me playing for hours.
yeah,
Um,
getting those free discs.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite
I
ones.
collect them.
Go to the magazine store and see how many of you you can get for free.
Yep.
So here he goes. He's about to
wow.
enter the last part of the map here. Check this out. It kind of blew me away. Did not know this was possible. So he's getting ready. He's going to jump off the ledge. Yep, and he saves it in midair.
Just doing that, and that glitches it.
Yep, and then he comes back. He loads the save. Watch, he'll do it this time. Yep, save and quit. He's in the air. And then when he comes back, he's going to load in, and he's going to be able to glitch himself to the last screen with Ganon. It's kind of amazing, man.
Unbelievable. People find these loopholes, man.
Yeah, how do you figure that shit out?
I know. I was like,
Yeah, I have no idea how they figured this out. I never would have. I couldn't have done it. I mean, somebody had to have just stumbled across it. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody jumped.
Accidentally saved. It's not
Yeah.
going to be in the source code or anything anywhere. This type of thing, is it? Because it's
Right.
such a niche glitch.
Yeah, it's got to be the mechanics coming together and just breaking it. You know?
Yeah.
So here we go. He should be. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah,
He just
Whoa.
glitched through the wall.
right through the wall. Right. It's just shortcutting the whole way.
Yeah. Yep. And this is a lot of the ways that some speedruns get done. They'll take an exploit in the game and, figure it out. But this is straight up cheating, though.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
breaking the game to get to the last screen.
Moving from like stage to stage to stage.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. That's remarkable.
Surprisingly, it doesn't lock up or anything along the way or something.
That's what I was thinking. Like for it
Especially
to be,
that older game, you know.
yep, for it to be doing this, it's all just like ones and zeros. It's amazing.
Hey, SPG.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Is it? Keep showing your video.
Yep,
I
he's
got a little-
almost done. He's almost to Ganon. There's Ganon.
Jeez.
And then there's the Triforce. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. One of
Long
the
way.
Welcome, Poops. You finished the game.
Good job.
The
Anyway,
ethics
yeah,
of the
I wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that was interesting. I'd never seen that speed run before. Or, glitch, whatever.
I wanted to show you something real quick, guys.
All right, let me go get you full screen, Ray. There you
Thank
are,
you.
sir.
You want to talk about a cheater? Let me show you what a cheater is. Remember Action? Replay Max,
Woo!
Mhm.
Game Shark,
Oh,
Game
yeah.
Shark.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yep.
Shark Port, where I used to part saves from a computer to my
Your memory
PlayStation
card.
2.
PlayStation memory card.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did Ray's video freeze for you guys?
I got to touch
No.
on something when you get done, right? I got to touch on something about that
Hey,
disc.
check it out. Xbox Game Shark.
Nice.
I still have the
Yeah.
N64 cartridge. Shark.
Code Breaker. I mean, holy cow! I used to.
You are a cheater, Ray.
I was a cheater. Yes,
have
I was
so
a
many.
cheater. I was a cheater and a cheater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, hey, Ray, in those discs, do you guys remember how many of you guys with the PS2, and I think it was the Game Shark disc was the one that it worked with. If you had the Game Shark disc and you had a Blockbuster video card and you notch a little notch in it, you put the game disc in there, and then you go under and you could unlock the drawer and slide your drawer out, and then you could swap your disc out for a burned copy.
Interesting.
What?
Do you guys
No,
remember that working? That was that's how the PS2 got hacked.
Yeah.
That was the
You're right.
original PS2 hack. I remember that's how we did it. It was awesome.
I had a buddy that modified his PlayStation 1, and I went over to play with him, and we played this horrible game called Star Wars KSR Fighter or something. It was awful. It was like Street Fighter, but like
Star Wars.
yeah, and it was awful. I mean, awful.
Right.
But anyway, we were playing it, and he pulled the disc out and threw it off to the side to put something else in, and it was a CD. I was like, "What are you doing? How'd you get that to work?" And he's like, "Oh, they soldered something onto the chip."
They had the mod chips, yeah. But with that disc though on the PS2, you didn't have to have a mod chip. You could just go buy a PS2, put a notch in the card, put that Game Shark disc in there, and you could swap them out all day long, man.
You do that, Ray?
Yes.
I did that, and then also I'll probably show it on another day, but I had a Dreamcast loader. So my Dreamcast is actually Japanese. So for me to play American games or UK games,
you play the other region lock.
Wow.
I just put the disc in, pull it out, and put whatever game I wanted, and I could play Japan, European, and Japan.
So I got a name I got to throw out to you, Ray.
Go for it.
With Dreamcast, to be able to play the Dreamcast games and the burnt games, because I remember you had to have a Plex Store burner. You had to go out and buy a Plex Store burner. They were the only ones that could burn that disc.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And, it was crazy.
Yes, and I actually did buy.
Was
that
it a
stuff.
dual?
Yeah,
It
I had
would
a
read
Plex
one
Store.
disc and burn to the other.
It was a special. It just had extra memory or something like that. It was like the only burner that had all this memory.
Oh, great.
Exactly.
I scared myself when I hit it.
Ray accidentally cracked one of them jars open.
I don't think he actually hit the button. I think he just did something.
Hey, you just spent your $100 jar, bro.
Hey guys,
I'll donate.
don't be surprised on Retro Rewind one day you see one of them jars live. I'm just saying.
God.
I'm just saying.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh man.
God.
All right. I think we've made it to This Week in Retro.
Woo-hoo!
I have
Can I
to.
use my voice, my Jeff voice?
Hey, if you want to read it, you sure can.
All right.
No,
I'm gonna be Jeff. All right, guys.
Whoa, hey, what happened?
Oh, yeah.
Can't
I'm
read
moving,
it if you're on the thing.
I'm moving fast. I'm moving.
All right, guys. Back in April 24, 2000, Magic the Gathering starter level on Windows USA.
Now, I could not find a video game called The Gathering starter level, but what I could find is this very, very old ass video where this guy tries to teach you. It was
Bro,
on
I thought that was
VHS.
John Cena for a minute.
Well, it's on VHS, and this guy teaches you how to play Magic the Gathering.
Oh my
Like,
God.
it's like Magic the Gathering for dummies, kind of, but not a
Oh
book.
my goodness.
It's remarkable. Matter of fact, I'm going to watch it back later just for the cheese factor.
I love all like the 90s instructional videos.
Yes.
You know, you
Late
laugh. But these
90s.
were some cool commercials, man.
Jeff says he's watching.
Make me proud, Jeff.
All right, so I couldn't find the game, but all right,
Right.
there you go, Ray.
All right, so back in April 2501, Star Wars Super Bombad Racing, PlayStation 2 USA.
Oh, you
There you
nailed
go.
it, man. You nailed it, Ray.
Now I don't remember the Bombad Racing. I did not play this game. I played the what do you call it?
Oh my
the
god,
pod
the
racer.
polygon graphics, man. Oh my god, look at that.
That looks awesome.
You guys
Those
laugh, but
Gungan heads look good.
this was back in my day. We used to, oh my god, look at the polygons.
Jar Jar
were like,
Binks.
Look at the textures.
Is that Nintendo 64 or what is this on?
What did it say there, Ray?
that
Let me
was
go
a
back.
PlayStation, guys.
Oh, it's PS2. Okay.
Yep. PlayStation 2. Yep.
PlayStation 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Maul's got a giant head on this one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they all have
Kind of
big
reminds
heads.
you of Mario Kart, though. I should have been
Holy
playing
crap!
this.
Guess what? You know who had my wife? My wife had this. I remember her playing this like back in the days.
Right? I didn't know your wife was a gamer, Ray.
This is Star Wars Mario Kart.
That's what it looks like. Yeah,
it's very
absolutely.
similar. Yep.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Like baby Darth.
Yeah, she grew up. I never did.
Shoot some lightning at your opponents. That could be absolutely amazing.
All right, guys. Back in April 2602, Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex, Xbox, whole world.
World release. Crash Bandicoot. You have
that
had
was
to
my
have played this.
childhood, Crash
Yeah.
Bandicoot.
Bro,
Tell us a little bit about
my
that,
God.
Wilson.
Yeah, this is a great one.
I just always remember getting stuck on these levels and trying to do whatever I could to find a mask just to hear him make that noise. What was that noise he would make when you would pick him up?
Memories.
Like, whatever it was,
Yeah,
that weird noise it would make.
That's it.
And I would restart the level as soon as I picked up a mask, so I could go make that noise again. Yeah, I don't think I ever finished a Crash Bandicoot, but I adored them. My brother would always try and guide me through them.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and I imagine pretty hard for little kids to be playing because there's a lot of stuff you got to be paying attention to. But that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I remember constantly getting stuck on like the levels where you have to like run away from something, and it's like a time level where you've got to keep making the jumps to
Hated
get
time
away.
levels.
I
Alright, guys.
absolutely hate them. Absolutely hate them. My brother had to do every single one of those for me.
Jeff says he still plays that on Retro Friday nights.
The
All
Wrath
right,
of
guys.
Cortex.
Back in April 27th, 04, World Championship Pool 2004, PlayStation 2.
And I had this game. I remember getting this game.
Yeah.
Oh, I seen
remember
him.
that too.
I've seen Jeff play this game, but I thought it was Wrath of Cortex. It's Cortex. Okay, I was reading that wrong. I was reading that wrong. All right, pool championship. Here we go. Boom. Played all kinds of mobile pool games. I never really played on a console.
I played
Yeah,
this game.
this game. I remember that.
Oh my god! I didn't play with nobody. I played this game by myself. It was still cool.
It looks way more detailed than I thought it was gonna. Holy crap! Look at that.
It's just amazing how the PS2 dominated for so long.
PS2
Oh,
was
man,
an
I know it.
amazing system.
PS3 had to be one of my all-time favorite or useful. Yeah, I just lost what I was saying. Damn.
Sorry.
PS3.
You like PS2? It's good.
Oh, yeah. The PS3, it was so useful to me besides gaming because it was a media server. And then they ended up getting these updates with that added Synavia copy protection, and then almost all your videos stopped working, or a bunch of mine did.
If you're trying to play like DivX videos or something like that.
Yeah, DivX. Yep. A
Yeah,
whole
they
bunch of
blocked all
movies.
that out. Yeah.
See, I always thought
Stopped
that
working.
games like this would make me better at pool.
Yep.
It
Kelly,
didn't.
that
It never worked, did it, Miz
No.
Tracey?
Just like the pinball ones. Like, oh, I could do so good at the pinball on the phone, but when I do the real pinball, I can't do it.
There you go, Ray.
All right. So, back in April 2806, Top Gun Nintendo DS version US.
Now, I've never played like hardly any DS games at all.
Yeah,
So you haven't played very many, Cloudy?
No, I wasn't a big Nintendo guy after NES, really. I mean, I was jumped in with a little bit friends here and there, but I was such a PS2 guy that I wasn't a bit, not much on Nintendo.
When I was standing in line for the PS2, somebody told me, Saddam Hussein's going to buy a bunch of these. And I thought this dude was insane. And then a day later, an article that I finally saw said, hey, Saddam Hussein's trying to order 20,000 of these for his drone program or his whatever. So it's true.
Train his army. He used them to train his army. Now you know what happened to Desert Storm.
Oh, man. But this looks pretty damn good for a DS game, I think. Wow. Jeff says, my kids and I still play DS. This was one of their favorites. It looks like an amazing title for a DS. I mean,
my kids just play Pokemon on DS.
Pokemon, that is definitely a favorite of a lot of people. I never got into the Pokemon games, as a matter of fact.
I like them. I didn't like the new one, the Let's Go Easy. Oh, gosh.
Michael Jackson. Hold on, Ray. I got to get you full screen on that one.
That Moonwalker, or what is that? Or no, Experience.
Michael Jackson Experience, baby, doing all his moves to all his songs on the DS.
Now, Moonwalker was the more.
Moonwalker was amazing, man.
Yeah, that was more popular game.
That was Sega, wasn't it? I think that was Sega or something like that.
Yeah, Sega. Yeah. All right.
Okay, guys, back in April 2905, Empire Earth 2, Windows, UK.
Jeff, you're never allowed to leave.
Now, the interesting thing about this title is you have to go through. The reason it's showing a Windows screen here is because you actually have to do a few things to be able to get this game to run anymore. They eventually do. Let me skip ahead here. They finally get it.
I didn't have the UK version, but I did have the United States version.
There we go. Empire Earth 2. I used to love these types of games. But
these are amazing, man.
But I never played an Empire Earth, I don't think, though. It was always Civ and a few other ones. The old Orc games.
Yeah.
Those were fun.
I like the box. Big box.
Man, these games have come so far, man. So far. He says, I put this in for Mr. Wilson. Not that he remembers it, but it's from the UK.
Yes, no, I do not recall this at all. I think it was a little bit before my time.
Way before.
No doubt. They're working hard, though.
It looks a bit like
the
Total War games. I've played the earlier Total War games, like Roman Medieval. It looks a bit like those.
That's what. That's
that's
a
where
predecessor.
That's where it came from. Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
Those were some of my favorite games when I was younger.
All right, guys.
What was that game?
What,
Ray, real quick, what was that game on Xbox that you were supposed to crash? You would do like 10 car piles up and stuff. You would have to floor it and get super fast and then try to cause as much mayhem.
Talking about Burnout or 60 seconds?
Burnout.
Burnout.
I think it was Burnout.
Burnout, yeah.
That was really cool.
Amazing game. Oh my God, I had this game. Holy
What about Driver? Remember that Driver game?
I love Driver.
Oh, that was awesome.
Love Driver.
So Rush Hour, let's see. Did I bring Rush Hour up? I think I did.
Rush Hour
430.97 USA.
Oh, there it is. I do not remember this game at all.
This game, I think, was also on the 64.
Look at all those Jaggies. And I know if Jeff was here, he'd say, hey, William, stop looking at it with today's eyes.
Hey, back then, these were top-notch graphics, man.
They were.
Yep.
It's
amazing what your imagination could do, because you'd play that all for hours and hours, and you thought you were driving a car. I mean, you were driving a car.
Yep.
I mean, same with Nintendo. Your imagination filled in all the blanks, and you played it like a blockbuster movie, even though it was little pixels and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ooh, Burnout 3 Takedown. I think that was my favorite Burnout.
Did you like top-down racers, or did you like to be from behind?
Oh, keep that.
You gotta watch how you say that, Ray.
Keep that private now, Ray.
But I would rather be in the cockpit.
Ray, we all know.
Oh my God! Get your mind out of the gutter, folks.
That's where my mind stays, man.
But I like the cockpit, unless like Wreckfest, it's kind of important to see around you, because if you can't see somebody, they're on your booty. Let me tell you.
May 5th, 2001, Super Mario Brothers Deluxe Game Boy Color.
Yep, I did play this title.
Oh, you had a color? You had a Nintendo Color?
Yeah, well, a buddy of mine did.
Okay.
And I'd get on the bus and go, hand me that. Give that.
So awesome, dude.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
man. So many memories, man, of regular Nintendo. That's why I had to make it front and center on the intro.
I love the leap. I love
I
that
saw somebody put something on Twitter today about bringing a game to Stadia that looked like NHL Hockey '93.
I saw that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I saw that. That looked
That was a
great.
good hockey game.
Yeah, that looked awesome. I was like, man,
Whatever happened to the NHL ice and the all the college football games, man? Like, we've been robbed lately, man.
Yeah.
We got Madden, and that's it. Or
It's greedy. If you want to go there, people want to get paid on college games, and
yeah, that's just
people
what
wanna
happened before. They were doing it without
take the
paying them.
license. Take the license. So only one company.
They thought it was cool to be on the cover and like, yeah, I'm on the cover. But then his friend was like, did you get paid? He was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, no, I didn't get paid.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a minute, man. I
Yeah.
forgot to get paid.
Yeah. What's up, Crow?
this next
All right.
one is awesome.
Okay.
May 2nd, 2003, The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Wacker.
So this is when Jeff was going through puberty, right? The Wind
May
Yeah.
2nd, that's
Yeah,
my,
the
that's my
Wind
birthday.
Waker.
Sorry, Waker.
The Wind Waker. My brother loved these Zelda games. And the GameCube was amazing.
Love
I
it.
think this one was on the GameCube, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that was on the GameCube.
Yeah.
Yep. Loved the Zelda games, man. Such a awesome story. And I need to get some Breath of the Wild done, man. I need to play some of that.
What's
It's good. And the
what
2
was
is
your
coming out.
favorite Zelda? The cute Zelda, the NES Zelda, or the newer Zelda?
I haven't played the newest one, as me and Miz Tracey were just talking about. But
Okay.
if I had to guess, I would say the old Zelda. But once I experience the open world, it's probably curtains for the old Zelda.
Well, I mean,
Just saying.
it's like it's a different game, really. It's uncomparable.
Right on. All those old games I could jump right into, man. Zelda is definitely one of them. I'd like to get that that special Zelda cartridge that has the variations that you could have gotten online a long time ago. We discussed it at one point, but I'd love to play through that. It just changes the maps up, changes the level orientation and where you find them. But this looks awesome. I had a lot of fun playing this one. So interesting, man, the way the design has changed. Because this certainly wasn't an open world compared to what they've got now.
God, look at that GameCube buttons in the corner.
Isn't that wild, man? That was
That
such a
controller
crazy.
sucked.
It did.
Love
Like-
that control.
Like I've
Love
got
it.
an
Love that
emulation.
With that
got
good
it.
little yellow stick I had on it.
Like I'm telling you, I emulate a lot of these old retro games to play them and stuff. And if you don't buy the Windows GameCube controller, don't even attempt to
Emulate the game.
emulate the
Right.
GameCube because it's going to be impossible to play. Almost impossible. All right, we got one more section.
I'll do it in my regular voice. May 03, 2002, Luigi's Mansion GameCube in the UK.
Luigi's Mansion. Yeah,
I
no,
remember that. That was all. That was
Good
cool.
game. Awesome game.
It was one of those titles that really, it made you step back and go, oh, wow. Like, I didn't think that the GameCube could do graphics like this. And then shortly after this, they released the Resident Evil 1 remake that blew me away.
Wait, on GameCube?
Wasn't there a like a disc?
Excuse me, but this right here blew me away on the
Eternal
GameCube.
Darkness.
Eternal Darkness.
Wasn't there like a Mickey Mouse game that was kind of similar to that? Like this kind
Yes.
of thing was like dark, and you walk through like a dark area. It was like all dark with shadows and Mickey Mouse or something like that.
I remember that. But yeah, this game, it made you feel like you were playing in a cartoon or a CGI, like
Dude,
world.
look at the
kinda.
vacuum.
It still looks good.
It still looks
With
great. It
today's
looks really
eyes,
good.
that's
Amazing.
I
okay.
like that. I like that art style. It looks really good.
Yeah. These guys were ahead of its time, man.
Oh man. Absolutely. Very clunky controllers, man, and you always had to relearn them with the next system, but definitely, man, they had the games and they had the gaming hooks that kept you engaged. You know,
I love the controller.
you like the C button and all that.
I love the controller, man. I love that button.
Right on. Well, Luigi's Mansion was pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, look, he's got he actually shows emotion on his face. I mean,
yeah,
it's amazing for what they got away with. And here is an all-time favorite for many people.
Right, Red
Dead
Revolver, PlayStation 2, baby, on the Xbox North America. This game was awesome.
That was so awesome. Yep.
This was the origin.
RPS2, yeah, RPS2. Yeah.
Go ahead and go ahead and tell us about it, sir. Cloudy.
Yep.
What is it?
Of the Red Dead Revolver.
Oh, I just remember when this came out on PS2, just because it was, like I was saying, it was just a different type of game. It was like the first time you had a cowboy shoot 'em up game that was actually, real and not just like a top down, little plinker. So it was definitely that's just what I remember about it when it came out. It was just the fact
I never played this one.
Western. It was just
Oh my god!
The very interesting thing about this game, Miz Tracey, is that you actually had like duels. In Red Dead 2, you kind of have a duel, but this was like very duel focused and centric.
Right.
Very, very interesting. I'll see if I can find it.
Red Dead 2, but
this is the origin of that series, I believe. This is the first.
Red Dead Revolver. Then they had Red Dead Redemption.
Then they came out with Red Dead Redemption. Yeah.
Yep.
But very
Crow
popular
says
game.
he still has that on Xbox.
Yeah.
A lot of people love this title. Let me find a duel if I can.
You can still get it on Xbox.
Because it's really neat, kind of how the mechanics work on if you shoot the guy or not. I don't think that's a duel. I don't know if I'm going to find it.
As the sunset goes, he's still practicing his skills.
Quick draw.
But a couple of the characters in this game, they refer to in the Red Dead lore.
Cowboy's got some chaps like that.
Well, he don't wear no jeans underneath his.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Runs around.
No, he doesn't. Everywhere he runs, people are like, I hope that's mud.
I mean, you look at this game, it reminds me of like a lot of the games you see on Android mobile now. You know what I mean?
Yes. Very much so.
Good shout, Cloudy V. Yeah. Good shout.
Yeah, very, very, very similar, man. Even the reticles and everything.
Get the horses out of the barn.
Don't give me horse.
On fire.
Horsing around. I've got something big for you. Uh-oh, maybe this is a duel. Maybe we'll be able to see a duel real quick.
The female, she's going to take him out.
Or she's going to run in circles.
Run in circles.
Catch your pant leg on fire and it's all over. Trying
Get
to cheese the game. Shoot around the corner.
Okay, this guy does not know where the hell he's going.
Yeah, man. Or he's afraid to be out in the open.
Yeah, maybe he's just trying to fight some cover. There you go. He dropped that boy.
Yeah, that wasn't a duel. That you literally stand in front of the other person and you have buttons to press. So that's not it. That's just
Hey, the AI is pretty smart, not doing bad.
That is something that's funny, man. I find that AI in older games are more solid, believe it or not.
I know. I'm disappointed with some of the AI. It's like, gosh,
Me too.
How horrible can you do? It's 2022.
They're rushing through the games, man. They're not rushing through the games, trying to get it out on sale to make some money.
Well, that's a title, Miz Tracey, you can check out at some point. Red Dead Revolver. A lot of people really liked it. I know it's not going to compare to Red Dead 2, though.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another one of my favorites, guys. Back in May 05, 92. Wolfenstein 3D on DOS.
Yeah, the old computer.
DOS, man.
Wow.
And these things, man. These are the old titles. This will remind you of straight up Doom.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like Doom.
Yeah, it's a clone.
It's
pretty
a
much.
clone. It's a
I
clone.
couldn't play these. These games always made me dizzy. I couldn't. I had
You
that.
know what? Let me tell you, man. I threw up.
You're
And I
talking
would
real
go right
talk.
back and play. I would go right back and play.
I couldn't handle it.
Ray, you'd get motion sick and go,
dog.
and just keep going, keep playing.
I would throw. When I was in my little studio apartment, I played this and Doom, and I would get. There was another game. I think it was called Hexen, and I would just get so sick.
Yeah,
and I would
I
throw
couldn't play
up,
'em.
and then I would just go back and start
I
playing.
would have like a splitting headache and be
Yeah.
I would get sick. I can't do it.
I would get sick on the Nintendo 64 Rogue Squadron. You could type in a code to get the Millennium Falcon, and then you could hit a button, and it would let you fly into the background before it shifted frames, and you could like 3D fly around. But man, did that make you dizzy, and it made me sick. I didn't keep playing though, Ray. I turned it off.
Hey, let me tell you, these games was like, oh my god, these games were so fun back then. Opening the doors, if there were soldiers,
getting that surprise behind the door.
Now here's a this movie came out around the time you were probably born, Wilson. Van Helsing, have you seen it?
That movie was. I love that movie.
What
That movie
is
was
the
awesome.
Vampire Slayer?
It had
That was a
Hugh
great
Jackman
movie.
in it.
Yeah, that was a
Okay,
great movie.
I got a story. I got a cute story.
All right, here we go.
My first date with Ryan.
We're getting you full screen for a first date
God.
talk.
on the
Okay,
screen.
my first date with Ryan, we watched Van Helsing, and well, I might as well say that we never finished it for like years, and then years later, we're like, we have to finish this movie, so we had to rewatch the movie.
That is amazing.
Awesome.
I won't
That was
ask
my
you
first
why
date
you
with
didn't
me.
finish it, but
Got distracted.
that happens. Van Helsing, yeah. The movie was pretty good.
It was good.
Yeah,
Dude, the vampire ladies flying around the town.
That was one of our me and my wife's
They were
favorite.
freaky
Yeah, they were trying to. They were
and
trying
kind of
to get.
hot.
They were trying to get Dracula.
Yeah, those
skins,
witches,
man.
those vampire chicks.
Yeah.
See if the main character looks like. Well, I didn't realize this was that kind of game. It's kind of like Devil May Cry a little bit.
Yep.
That's what it
Oh,
reminds
is
me
that
of.
like a
Yeah, with
Jekyll
the,
and Hyde
shooting, the way you're shooting the guns.
I think I wouldn't mind playing this as a retro title. Jeff, you
Now,
need to
was this
play Van
based off
Helsing.
the movie? This must have been based off the movie.
It had to have
Looks
been,
like
yeah.
him.
Yeah, it was based off the movie.
Oh,
Look,
yeah,
there
it
you go.
looks like
Yep.
it.
Right there. There
There he
it
is.
is.
They
Yep.
got his likeness. They
Yeah,
could have done better than him.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the Jekyll and Hyde guy. He's fighting the Jekyll and Hyde guy.
Yeah, look at his
got
weapons
him.
too.
Yep. Oh,
Arm off, dude.
that was a little weak, boys and girls. That was a little weak. That was cool though. Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Kaboom.
All right, guys. One of my favorite toys growing up. May 07. Transformers PlayStation 2 version.
More
Those
than
were the
meets
coolest
eye.
toys, man.
Transformers, man.
Yeah.
I don't think
I remember I had the little cassette guy, it was like a little dog that folded up into a cassette.
Come on, wait a minute. Soundwave or Blaster Master? Soundwave,
because
right?
Blaster Master was a gun, right?
I can't remember. I just remember it was a little dog. It was like his little sidekick dog, and it folded up into a cassette tape.
Yeah, there was a bird too. There was a bird that
Yeah.
folded up.
There was
That was
so many of those
awesome.
cool little toys.
What in the hell? Is that a Camaro? Is that Bumblebee?
That's
Yeah, it looks like a
insane.
Camaro. Yeah, it's like a 70
Yeah.
Camaro or
Yeah.
78.
Now everybody know Bumblebee was actually a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
Folks.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Now,
Original.
in the movie,
In the movie, they changed it to a Camaro. Yeah.
I never played this. It looks
Yeah.
weird.
Chevrolet said,
GM sponsored that. Yep.
Hey, we pay some
Now,
money
hey,
if you change Bumblebee.
This movie or this game here has got a cool premise. Did you just see that? He could transform back into the car to drive around
Yeah.
on the fly. If they made an open world like that, that could be pretty interesting.
That would be a brilliant game to release now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, with what they could do today with an open world and multiplayer and
Dude, you better shop that idea to
Could be a
somebody.
thing.
patent
That's what I'm
pending. Patent
hoping they
pending,
would-
ladies and gentlemen.
That's one thing I would hope they would do one day. Just have an open world with all the different Transformers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn.
Yeah, like a battle royale transformer.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
For
would be freaking
adults,
fantastic.
not for the kiddies, but
Right,
kind of
yeah.
like an adult theme.
Oh yeah, I would be down for that for sure.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I'd crush into everything.
Oh man.
Hey Ray, real
Yeah,
quick,
they
man.
would screw it up probably.
Tell us what's going on with that. You sent an article, and I'm not going to bring it up because it's somebody else's actual page. But
Gotcha.
that explain to us about that Retromania thing going on, the WrestleMania game.
Dude, okay, so I love wrestling and I love retro. So somebody came out with Retromania. It's a video game, and it has a lot of old and new wrestlers. But here's the thing: this
No
game,
licensing.
this game is about what, almost a year and a half over, and it promised a bunch of DLCs, extra wrestlers. It has not been here yet. It promised a whole bunch of rings, has not been out, and now we're like, I mean, it's like, come on, dude. It's like
Backers are getting a little worried now.
It's 8-bit style graphics. It is not like it's
much.
I mean,
Yeah.
And so when the game came out, it was like all us wrestling and retro heads. I got the game. I was watching the videos. I was pumped up. You know, they got this guy, Jason. I think his name's Jason Storm. He drinks beer. They got this other character called Chris Bay. These are characters that were supposed to be like a year and a half ago. We're still waiting. This game is almost 2 years old.
So does it look like NES wrestling or something like that?
Yes, yes, it does. Like the Royal Rumble or SummerSlam ones or whatever.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of the people in the
maybe Super
retro
Nintendo
community are getting upset because this guy said that DLC was coming out and it hasn't. I've already beat the game. I've got all the wrestlers. I want my extra rings and my DLCs. Come on.
So here's what the characters kind of look like.
Yeah.
I don't think he even plays this in the actual stream. That's why I wasn't going to want to play. Yeah, he doesn't even show the gameplay. So, but anyway, yeah, it's definitely set up like a Super Nintendo title.
The company is called RetroSoft. They made I love the game. I have fun with it.
So is it licensed? Is it the licensed WWE, WF characters? It's all
no,
licensed?
It's actually they're licensed with NWA.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's the National Wrestling Alliance. So they have their permission with their wrestlers, with some other indie wrestlers. But the thing about it is that the DLCs should have been here by now.
Yeah,
here. They're even in the store coming soon. This one particular, and I'm just like, come on.
And it's soon.
And it's
all right.
$30 game. Okay.
Let's say, all right, we are out of time,
yes,
people. And I want to thank Wilson and Cloudy V for making the time to join us today, man. I had a fabulous time. I hope you did as well.
Good stuff.
It's always fun to join you guys doing whatever, whether we're playing games or just having a catch up.
Absolutely. Wilson, let people know who you are, where they can find you, where you're going to be, and all that happy stuff, and then move along to Cloudy.
I am in every single cloud stream that you can see. If I'm not in it, then tell me about it and I'll be in it next time.
Just wait a minute, he'll be there.
Yeah, basically. I'm currently only active on Stadia, but if anyone wants to give me an ad, it's Wilsonian, like Wilson and then Ian, all is one word. I'm down to play with whoever and whatever. So yeah, just give me a shout anytime, guys.
Awesome, Wilson. And I do want to say thank you, man, for jumping in and joining us and for playing with us, man. You're an awesome guy, and you need some sleep, but hey, I appreciate you playing with us. Go ahead, Claudia.
Oh, well, I appreciate having a bunch of people to play all these games with. It's absolutely great. Like 4 weeks ago, I didn't know Stadia had a community. I didn't have a clue, and now it's absolutely amazing to just be able to jump on and go on Wreckfest or World War Z or XYZ. It's brilliant, really is.
Well, we're so glad you joined us, sir.
Yeah, it's fun killing you and crashing into you.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Gotta be careful for Daddy opening doors.
Put a name with a face too, as well, Wilson. I think it's the first time we
absolutely
put a name with a face for you.
Yes.
So appreciate you in the games as well.
Yep.
For me, Cloudy V, Cloud Validation on Twitter and Cloud Validation on YouTube. You know, I'm around, in and out, just hanging out with you guys whenever you guys are doing some kind of stream or whatever, or playing. Who's ever playing something, some PUBG, hopefully.
Right on. Love some PUBG, man. Loved going after that chicken, man. I can't believe they took it out of there. They need to bring it back.
Yep. Well, good times. Appreciate you guys having. It was a great talk.
Absolutely. All right, Ray. Where are you at? Where can people find you? What are you up to?
Well, tonight, guys, I'm going to be on Ray3473 on Twitch TV. I am doing God of War on the GFN 3080 RTX. Shout out to GFN.
And shout out to Mr. Byram Plays. I checked out his stream, and that looks so crispy. I'm so excited for you, Ray.
It was amazing. So I'll be streaming that tonight. And then, guys, tomorrow, John Scar is going to be, he's going to have the devs from space. It's a brilliant 3D multiplayer shooter. We're going to have the devs, Stadia Pro Gaming, myself, Rock, with John Scar. And I think Ninja Guy X, I don't know if he's going to be there. We're going to be, I think he should be there. We're going to be interviewing those guys. So that's up. And then PUBG Monday night on the Stadia Bash community. Thank you.
Absolutely. Miz Tracey, what are you going to be up to and where can people find you?
That's where I'm at there at Twitch. I mean, I have a YouTube channel too, but I do more live streaming on Twitch. I don't really live stream on YouTube at all anymore. I'll be playing Conan Exiles, Halo Infinite. Might do some Fallout 76 soon. We haven't done that for a bit. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Just basically whatever I can get my hands on, but mostly a lot of Conan right now. That's what we're going to be playing tonight. We usually do Halo on Sunday nights, but I'm not the only one that's hooked on Conan. And
it's awesome.
Right? He's had a bad week. He's like, let's just skip Halo and just do Conan. So I'm like, all right, twist my arm. We'll play Conan. But yeah, you can find me on Twitch. It's got a really great community there. There's links on my Twitch too to like our Discord and stuff. If you guys are into Discord at all, I love our Discord. Lots of nerdy gaming content. It's awesome.
All right, Ray, you're all done sharing, but let me show it there. I'm going to make you full screen. Show that bling, sir. Woo!
Did you say yes?
You speed jeweler. Mr. Urban World is always talking about some bling. So there you go, Mr. Urban World. There's some bling for you, brother. Those baguettes and pave diamonds, brother.
Right on. Well, I'm SPG, and thank you for hanging out with us and participating in the chat today, guys. We love every one of you. And I usually stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but Monday I'm going to be streaming with John Scar, as Ray just alluded to. And Wednesday I have a doctor's appointment. So maybe I'll stream Thursday or Tuesday. I don't know. I will let you know. But until then, guys, thank you for hanging out and be good to one another. Later, guys.
Later.
Bye.